Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, a standalone Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Every episode is a separate, complete adventure, so you can listen to them in any order. We are joined today by Willy.
Hello everyone, it's everyone's favorite dead boy, level 5 warlock, and reborn sea hag-ish fellow. I stand very tall, I'm very thin, my skin is very pale, and wrapped in the finest of Victorian ghost clothes.
Also, we are joined by Jade.
Hello, I am Jade. I am a red-skinned, black-eyed, black-haired, and Paladin of the Crown. I am a retired city guard, and I worked for over 2 decades for the city of Nicomoy. Oh, and I am a level 5 Paladin.
And last but not least, we have Balpetor Windrest.
Hello everyone, my name is Balpetor, and I am a level 5 half-elf paladin with an Oath of Glory. I was born short and slim, only at 4 feet 9 inches. I wear scale armor with a silver wolf coat I earned from self-defense, and I come from a nomadic tribe called Frostwinds, north of Mount Hokkaido. I joined the Fire Breathing Kittens to find glory, so I could turn with honor to my tribe.
Awesome. All right. Normally we would start an adventure at the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, but today we're doing things a little bit different. So, as the shimmering blue light around you slowly fades away and your eyes adjust to the new light level, you see that you are standing inside a large room decorated in a style that might have been in fashion about 100 years ago. As you look around, you hear a voice address you. "Oh, thank the gods. My message reached you." Stepping into view is a lanky man in his early 20s, with a fading hairline and robes that suggest some kind of academic persuasion. I was in quite a bind, as you can imagine. I'm just glad my summons reached such fine paladins from the Sunblade. It's so good to have you... excuse me, sir? Sir? You with the long hair in front of his face. Are you also a paladin or some kind of holy warrior?
Yes.
He's with us.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I mean, you didn't have the traditional, knight in shining armor appearance. I might have some stereotypes mixed up, but all right, if you say you're an holy warrior, that's good enough for me.
I find that a little offensive, honestly. I think I'm very shining and noble. I smile my shark teeth.
The man is clearly taken aback, and he's well, I didn't mean any offense. It's not my area of expertise, so I was assuming. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Well, thank you for coming at my summons. I'm sure you've read the letter and you know what's going on, right?
I look at Jade, but again, my hair covers my eyes, so she can't see the look of desperation.
And I would like to know, so I'm wearing like a chainmail over a gambeson, and what are Balpetor and Willy wearing?
I'm wearing scale mail and a silver wolf coat over it. I forgot to shower, and yeah, I'm kind of stinky.
I also wear scale mail, but mine is like very fashionable and like, you know, with like cloaks and like a over thing, so it's like almost like under my armor, or it's under my clothes.
Yeah, so all of us are armored, and we could theoretically be paladins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I am a paladin, and yeah, like, okay, let's roll with this.
Yeah, like...
the man was not that hard to convince. He, he's already convinced by your statement. He looks at each of you in turn and he says, I'm so glad you're here. I was in quite a bind. Well, if you will just follow me and... Oh dear. Oh, not again. Please make me a perception check, everyone.
Okay.
Oof, that's bad. I believe that's going to be a 4. Yep, that's a 4.
Also 4.
All right. I rolled a 5, and then perception +0. Yes, a 5.
Leading the pack.
Very well. Your attention is mostly wrapped up in this strange man that has appeared before you, and you do not notice the sound of flapping wings. But you do see out of the corner of your eyes some fast-moving objects moving through the air. And before you know it, the man before you and also yourself are beset by flying books. As they approach you, spectral teeth and horns start to grow on them. Please roll for initiative.
Oh my. Okay. Diving straight in.
All right.
Yes, I rolled a 6.
Nice.
14 for old Willy.
Plus 2, so 8.
18 minus 1 is 17.
Very well. We will have Jade first, then Willy, then the books, and then eventually Balpetor. All right, Jade, you see the man before you being beset by flying, possibly demonic, definitely evil books. What would you like to do?
I'd like to know how far away I am from everybody. For example, am I within 5 feet of my allies? Am I within 30 feet of my patron? Sure.
You are definitely within 5 feet of your allies. You are standing quite close together, and you are about, a large 10 feet away from this person. You know, he walked to within normal speaking distance of you.
Oh, okay. Only 10 feet away. Perfect.
Indeed.
I call to my companions. Rally! Everyone get together! I will be able to defend you better if we are standing close together. Which is true. I have specialized in taking hits for my allies. I have this thing now. It's so cool. I want to try it out. So please stand near me.
You got it. Coming right up.
And then I move to within 5 feet of this person who hired us. And I ready an attack if a flying demonic book comes within 5 feet of me. Let me know.
They are definitely already within 5 feet of you. They're hanging around his head, and some of them are also trying to charge you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well then, I now attack twice. Whoa, crazy level 5 paladin.
Oh, I do that too.
Me too.
Nice.
And I get an 11 and a 13 to hit with my longsword if they're so close.
The 13 hits.
4. 3 plus 3 is 6 damage.
All right. A large gouge is made into the back cover of one of the books, its title now being unreadable. Next up, we have Willy.
Does a 23 hit?
Oh, definitely.
Well, with 2 23s, Willy pulls... Oh, I guess because I have to summon my packed weapon, so I can only attack once. Well, with 1 23, I pull my sword from my chest and, swipe at one of the books, dealing 7 damage.
All right. Are you trying to attack the same one that Jade attacked or a new one?
Same one.
All right. With that, you pierce the gouge that Jade already made and further expand it, tearing the book to shreds, papers flying everywhere. Is that your turn?
That will be my turn, yes.
All right. There are 4 more flying books that are now very much agitated because one of their own has been torn to shreds. 2 of them will remain hanging around the mysterious benefactor, and the other 2, one of them will attack Jade, and the other one will attack Willy.
When it attacks Willy, I'd like to do a thing, but for now, let me know what hit me.
All right. Does a 16 hit you, Jade?
No, I have chainmail armor on.
Nice. All right. What is the thing you want to do for the attack against Willy?
Fighting style. At 2nd level, I took a fighting style of interception. When a creature I can see hits a target other than you within 5 feet of you with an attack, so let's see if it hits.
It would have been a 19 to hit.
Ooh, that definitely hits.
I can use my reaction to reduce the damage the target takes by 1d10 plus my proficiency bonus, which is 3. And that d10 is 2 plus 3 is 5.
All right. With a very timely interception by Jade, raising her shield and blocking most of the attack, Willy, you receive 1 point of damage as you are given a small paper cut.
I would like to use an ability that I recently got. The mechanical ability is called Gift of the Gem Dragon, but it is re-flavored for Willy as Gift of the King of All Creation. So if an enemy hits me with a melee attack, which is what it was, right?
Indeed.
It has to make a strength save DC of 14, or it takes 2d8 damage and is pushed 10 feet away from me.
He has an 8. These books are not very strong, as you can possibly imagine.
All right, well, it takes 12 points of damage as my hair flips up, my green eyes come out, and I just death scream, which I won't do for the listeners and blow out your ears, but just a firm you scream at a book.
Don't worry, this is normal.
Paladins do this all the time.
Balpetor, as you look on, you see one of your companions raise his voice and shout apart a flying book. What would you like to do?
I just screamed a book to death.
Indeed.
Well, first I'm going to stare in awe, and then I'm going to attack it with my rapier.
All right. There are 2 of the books hanging around the mysterious benefactor, and one of them hangs around Jade.
Oh, I'm going to
Choose
attack the
your
one over
target.
the benefactor.
All right. Go for it.
All right. 9.
A 9 misses.
Oh, no.
And your second attack?
Oh, yes. 19.
That definitely hits.
Take that. And I stab the book with my pokey rapier. Oh, and then for damage, 1.
You pierce it. Have you added your dex or strength to that?
Oh, 5.
Very nice. Instead of a very small hole, you prick a slightly larger hole inside the book. It still appears to be flying.
Oh, darn it.
But its attention is definitely directed towards you now instead of the mysterious benefactor. So that might be a plus. All right. Meanwhile, the mysterious benefactor himself, he will take the disengage action, run away, and cower behind a sofa. Jade, you're up.
It is much harder to defend you when you are so far away, my mysterious benefactor. You know, I am more able to protect you if you are standing beside me.
I'm sorry. I'm not used to these kind of situations.
That's okay. That's also acceptable to run away and hide behind a couch. I hope it's giving them bonuses to their AC.
Is it a steel couch?
Well, at least provide cover.
Mm-hmm. So how many books are there around within 5 feet of me?
Well, one of them was attacking you directly, since Balpetor has kind of taken the place of the mysterious benefactor. He is now surrounded by 2 of the books, one of them wounded.
Okay. So I'm going to strike at the books with my sword. I rolled a 9 and a 19 to hit.
The 9 misses, but the 19 definitely hits.
My sword is the world's best bookmark as I mark the page for 5 damage.
The page is now marked. You can easily find it because there's a gouge in it.
Great. And then as a bonus action, are you guys injured?
I think I'm okay.
I think nobody has been hit yet.
I took a
except
small
Willy.
amount.
All right, sorry.
Well, if you're just a little damaged, what I'm going to do is my champion challenge. As a bonus action, I issue a challenge that compels other creatures to do battle with me. Our patron just fled behind a sofa. So what I'm going to do is say each creature of my choice, which are the book creatures, that I can see them, within 30 feet of me, they all are, must make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
These are books. They're probably pretty wise.
Yeah, but if they fail, they can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from me. It ends if they are incapacitated or die, or if they successfully do get more than 30 feet away from me.
I have a 5, a 12, and a 17.
Okay, the 17, my spell save DC is 15, so the 17 passes. That one can move 30 feet away from me, but the other ones can't.
All right.
Willingly.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay, that ends my turn.
All right. Willy, you hear your companion beside you issue a challenge towards his books.
Come at me, books.
Educate me. Do it. What would you like to do?
Since they're moving, I'm going to use an Eldritch Blast, and just wallop them with energy. Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does hit.
Ooh, fun. Then I do 9 points of damage.
All right. Are
And
you
it's
targeting?
Oh,
Are you
and it's
targeting one of? Yes. Go ahead.
Whichever one. Well, we were next to each other, so I guess the pull doesn't matter. One that's been damaged.
All right, that will be enough to blow it apart with your Eldritch energy.
Woo!
All right.
Do you have a second attack for me?
No. Oh, but my Eldritch Blast has 2 beams, so I'll use the one that I pre-rolled for my next turn. Does an 11 hit?
11 unfortunately does not hit.
Okay, so my second beam goes wild.
Yeah, it makes a aerial maneuver and dodges your beam of energy.
I kind of respect the flying book.
Yeah, these are pretty cool. Again, it is like a sickly, like reddish, like brown, sort of like old blood color beam of blast.
They're going to try to aerial dodge that even harder now. All right, then there's only 2 books remaining. You are making short work of these books. But they are now going to target, Jade is the challenge, so, they're going to go after Jade. Who knew? You are charged by 2 flying books. They're doing something weird. They're opening their pages and they're shooting paper, how do you call the folding paper things you make again?
Origamis?
Oh, we call them, origami or paper footballs.
Ah, they are shooting origami-made throwing stars at you.
Oh, there.
Oh, those
Please make a dexterity saving throw for me 2 times.
Oh no, a paladin's weakness. Oh no, a 2 on the dice.
Do you guys have your aura? I'm not a paladin, but...
Yeah, so my aura makes everything hit me. That's what I do. Jade's gonna die sometime this season, guys, okay? It's all right. All right, that is a -1 added to my 2, so that's a non-natural 1.
All right, and can you make that roll again for me for the second barrage of shurikens?
18 minus 1 is 17.
Very nice, very nice.
Right
so
on.
the first one will give you 7 points of slashing damage, and the second one will give you 3 points of slashing damage, for a total of 10 points of slashing damage.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Down to 29 hit points.
You mess with the books, you get the paper cuts. Balpetor, you see your companion being assaulted by flying paper knives?
Yeah, I'm starting to question these books. How far are they from me?
Oh, you're all pretty much close to each other.
It's right at each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm still kind of just warming up here, so I'm just gonna attack it twice again. The one that did that heavy damage on Jade.
All right. Go for it.
19 and an 18.
Both of those attacks hits.
Yes. Okay, and then for damage, 5 and 2. Oh, no.
Have you-
plus... so then it's actually a 7 and a 3.
All right. With that combined damage, you are capable of finishing off these books. Would you like to do a cool maneuver of killing 2 books at once?
Ooh, yeah. I'll stab both books with my rapier, and then I'll read them, and then I'll toss them away. What did I read? What was in their contents?
Well, I'm glad you asked. You look inside the books and you expect to find, normal writing, handwriting. They appear to be filled with strange, arcane symbols that fill you with a feeling of dread and unease.
Ooh, can I make an Arcana check?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. I'm actually really bad on Arcana check, but 16 minus 1, 15. Hey.
Pretty good, pretty good. You can determine that the arcane text, it's not certain that it's arcane text, but the symbols that you see in these books seem to be a expression of the energy that was filling these books while they were in flight. The spectral horns and thieves, it seems to have been translated to the text on the page as well. As you're looking at them and studying them, you see the symbols slowly fade away and return to normal text.
Guys, there are some evil symbols on these books, and now they disappeared.
Whoa.
I don't think that's normal.
No.
Since Willy has learned to smile but does not know when it is appropriate when and when not to smile, he does a big shark tooth grin at the idea of evil books, because he likes spooky things.
Don't worry, he's with us.
I mean, if you want, there are some very nice, slightly damaged to very much damaged books around. That's, if you want.
Yeah, so Willy's going to go around and be, I'm just going to check to make sure none of these are still alive. Hey, little guy, are you up? And Do I see the symbols fading away as well?
I will say you see them for a split second before they fade away. Yes.
Interesting.
Before battle can end, because I don't know how often I can do this, I turn the tide, which is as a bonus action, I can bolster injured creatures with my channel divinity. Each creature of my choice that can hear me within 30 feet of me regains hit points equal to 1d6 plus my charisma modifier.
Before you do that, is your champion challenge also an option for your channel divinity?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you can do one channel divinity per rest. If that's correct?
Is this how this works? Okay. Got it.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, keep going. Ignore that I said that.
All right. Well, now that the danger has passed and you have a moment to yourselves, you gather yourselves, take a deep breath, and your mind wanders back to earlier in the day. So, 15 minutes earlier. You are at a social mixer. That's the word. A social mixer organized by the Sunblade. You are inside their guild hall and you see members of the Cindercloaks, Moody Booksellers, Arcane Vanguard, and of course mostly Sunblades, which makes sense. You were brought here on invitation by your guildmaster Nulisag. Initially, he was kind of hesitant to send members because, Fire-breathing kittens and the Sunblades have had somewhat of a rocky relationship in the past. We're not blaming anyone, but it's been said. But eventually he decided, you free, just go to this mixer, mingle, see if we can restore some of the broken relationship between the guilds. And most importantly, there's going to be socialites there. Socialites of monies and socialites of problems. And we can fix those. So go network, go do the thing, get us more quests. So you were sent on a, advertising mission basically to the social mixer. And while you were there standing around, you see a couple of things. You see, of course, the Cindercloaks are in the corner at the drinks and they are busy turning water into fire water, as they do. The Moody Booksellers are talking to some important-looking people, but the important-looking people are looking extremely bored by what they're telling them, which is on brand. And then a bit of a strange figure comes into the room. He's bluish, slightly translucent, and seems to be quite out of breath. His breath is labored, he's a bit hunched over. I'm like, oh boy, all right, Sunblade Guildo? Yeah, Sunblade Guildo, good. Looks around, and he spots you free, and he comes over. Let's see, he addresses Balpetor. He's like, excuse me, sir, are you a paladin by any chance?
Is he, you say he's a blue person?
Blue and translucent.
Like his skin?
Like his complete form is translucent, yeah.
Oh, translucent, okay. Yeah, and who may you be?
Oh, I have no name, because I was created by magic. So, hi, I am a helper. I'm very glad to found you. Here, I think this is for you. And he hands you a rolled up piece of paper.
Oh, who's this from? Wait. I carefully grab it. Can I do detect magic or something?
Do you have that spell?
Trap? What's that?
Do you have the spell Detect Magic?
Oh, yes, I do.
And then you can absolutely do that.
Okay. Let's see. This is my first time using a spell. Okay.
Willy tries to put his hand through the translucent guy.
As you do that, the translucent guy explodes in a spark of a shower of blue sparks.
He starts trying to brush the sparks under like a rug.
He died.
You don't know for sure, but you might have just killed a magical person.
Oh God! Oh, I'm a murderer. Wait, I was already a murderer. Oh, okay.
All right. Are you detecting magic on the scroll?
Yeah. Do I have to make a roll?
Nope. Oh, yes.
For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. Oh, the spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 foot of wood or dirt.
All
and
right.
It's 1 action.
So, for a fleeting moment before the blue person exploded because of someone touching it, you sensed a conjuration magic from the blue individual. You also sense magic from the piece of paper you're holding, but you are not completely sure which school of magic it is. You are detecting some hints of maybe divination magic and something else.
Huh. Seems to be a bit of divination involved. Of course, that might seem obvious.
Willy reflexively looks up.
Willy, what did you do?
I don't know. I thought that maybe it was like a cool ghost guy, and I've had good luck in the past petting ghosts.
Well, the least we can do is, I guess, open this scroll or this parchment out of respect for the blue guy.
Rip it open. Rip it
All
open,
right.
Balp.
I open the parchment and I read its contents.
All right. As you open the piece of paper, it says, "To the brave adventurers I hope are reading this letter. My name is Hoop van Dijk, and I'm in a bit of a pickle. You see, before you can read any further, a burst of blue spark comes out of the paper and envelops the three of you, whisking you away to another location."
We're dead.
These guys love sparks.
And we go back to the present. So, your mysterious benefactor comes out from behind the couch. And he's like, "Oh, well, whew, that was quite something. Attacked by books. I would like to say this is the first time in my life that happened, but early today also, so..."
Are you the creator of the blue translucent person?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, you see my helper. Yeah, that's, well, he doesn't really have a name, but he's my handy helper. I've made him with magic, yeah.
Oh, so he's not dead.
I mean, we can discuss the philosophy behind whether or not magically created entities are technically alive in the first place. But that's probably not the time and place for that right now.
Oh, I
Okay.
am just glad that my friend and colleague is not a murderer.
Yes. Balpetor, we're very glad you're not a murderer.
Wait, what?
I mean, I hope, as since you're Sunblades, you would not be like thieves and murderers. Was my information incorrect?
You can understand why we were so distressed at the explosion of the blue illusion person. We value our honor in the law very highly.
All right, very well. Not correcting him. I'll roll with that. I hope you've read the letter I sent you. So
Yeah, everything
what's
happened so fast. What did it say again?
Oh no! Did it do the thing where it transported you a bit early?
Yeah, and then all these books started flying, and then you went hiding behind the couch, and now here we are.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, magic is not my area of expertise. I'm kind of still workshopping it. I mean, it achieved its major goal. It was getting some adventures here, so that's good. But some tweaking might be needed. Well, all right. My name is Huub van Dijk. I am a researcher and scholar. I have been tasked with taking this beautiful home you see around you, restoring it a bit, getting it up to snuff, and getting it ready to be turned into a study research center for the Nikomori Scholar Association.
Ah, the NSA.
Thank you for that.
Well, wonderful. What exactly can we help you with today?
Oh yeah, right. Normally restoring houses is not something you really need adventures for, but I encountered a slight problem while working on this house. I think there's some kind of curse on it. Hence, the flying books, and there have been other things as well. It's made work kind of difficult,
Again, shark tooth smile. A curse, you say?
Yes, I'm not. I mean, I'm not very happy with it, but if you're happy with it, I'm happy with it. Yeah, indeed. I think it might have been something left by the previous owners of the house, or maybe someone that didn't, like them very much. It's as I said, I'm not really into magic. I do more of historical research, so it's not really my expertise. But when evil energies start flying around and attacking me, I kind of assume it's cursed, ghost, pretty much that.
Well, as a paladin, it is possible for me to detect cursed and hallowed places. Let me hold on 1 second, and I take a deep breath. So this is the paladin ability, Divine Sense. As an action, I can open my awareness to detect strong evil, which registers on my senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good, which rings like heavenly music in my ears. Within 60 feet, I can detect any celestial fiend or undead creatures, and I can also know if the place that I am in has been consecrated or desecrated, for example, with the Hallow spell. So I take a deep breath in. Is this place desecrated?
All right, so it's a bit weird. You do get a whiff of the desecration part, definitely, but the strength of it fluctuates. It's not like there's a continuous heavy burden on your nose. It's like there's a wind of filth flowing through the air, and you can sniff some of it. A little bit stronger here, a little bit weaker there, and it ebbs and flows a little bit. And there's definitely, some kind of fiendish presence. That's for sure.
Oh, there is definitely some kind of fiendish presence here. I can smell it.
Yes, I think I smell it too. But then it's probably just the unwashed Balpetor.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would have shouted if I known, but, it was just, everything was just so sudden. Might have been me.
Hoop van Dijk sees you sniffing around. He's like, oh yeah, I think I also smelled something earlier. Yeah. Huh, that's weird. Huh.
This evil must be deep within the walls of this place.
I start to blush. Where are we again? Are we like in the living room or like...
All right. As you look around you see that you're in a bit of a fancy study. You see a desk, some bookshelves, now with a lot less books on them. There's a fireplace with a fire crackling in it. And there's a pretty well-carved, ornate wooden door. That's the only exit you see from here. That's about what you see around you.
Okay, everybody. So it seems to be we had to find this evil fiend or find the source of this curse, right?
Yes. In my experience, we're looking for pouches filled with bones and hair. Perhaps like a hand of a dead person. I don't mean to brag, but I know a bit about curses.
Which is why he's here in the first place.
Yes, breaking them. I love breaking curses. Like a child excited to go in Disneyland at the gates. I'm like rolling back on the balls of my feet, waiting to like go curse hunting.
So as you say that, Hoop pipes up is like, oh, really? You brought an expert? Oh, wow! That's my spell worked better than I expected. Well, maybe I should expand into magic more. It's like, you said something about a hand. You mean something like this? He kind of reaches inside one of his pockets and he produces what appears to be a mummified hand. And before he can say anything else, you see from the ceiling drop down about 3 or 4 smoky-looking tendrils that wrap around him with lightning quickness, pull him up from the ground, and drag him towards the door. Would you like to do something?
Yes.
Yes.
Tendrils, are they like intestines?
No. It's just a strand of black smoke that has formed into a appendage, apparently.
Black smoke!
Why don't you go first, Jade? Because yours is probably less damaging than my move.
I will use what I pre-rolled before, and with my sword already drawn, I would like to attack the smoke tendrils to see if my sword passes through it, or if they maybe find purchase, and as an extra, because I think these aren't physical tendrils, these are smoke tendrils, right?
They appear to be made from smoke.
Okay, well then I'm also going to do a smite, because smite deals non-physical damage, right? Not just slashing, but also some, like, whatever this is, magical. Maybe if I, for example, searing smite it, maybe that'll help. Maybe I should, yeah. Okay, all right, so this is going to be a little bit dangerous, but here it goes. Do I hit with a melee on a 20 or a 25?
Yes, a 20 or higher will definitely hit these tendrils.
Okay, the next time you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack during the spell's duration, so it's a bonus action. So I bonus action Searing Smite, and then I hit. It's a bonus action range self, concentration 1 minute, and my weapon flares with white-hot intensity, and the attack deals an extra 1d6 fire damage to the target. So along with the 9 and the 8 damage that you took from my 20 and my 25 to hit, you also take an extra 4 damage of Searing Smite. And because I'm casting this through my Infernal Heritage, it's at higher level, so it's at 2nd level, so you take another 1.
Get him!
Yeah. Also, because this is smoke, have you ever held a flame to a candle wick's smoke?
No.
It catches on fire and it rapidly burns.
Oh.
It's super cool to watch. Lighting smoke on fire is really fun, and that's what I just did, because you catch on fire. You are on fire until you make a Constitution saving throw to not be on fire, and you can do that at the start of your turn.
All right. Before I fully explain what the consequences of that are,
Oh no.
Willy and Balpetor, do you also want to do something quickly?
Oh. Can I persuade the smoke to stop?
You can certainly try.
Stop! Okay, so I make a persuasion check, right?
Do you have something more for me to go on, or is this your full
Well,
persuasion?
Everything happens so fast, that's probably the first thing that Balpetor does, it's just, stop! And
That's fair enough. Make me a persuasion roll, but I am going to give you a disadvantage because you have not given me any, arguments. But, maybe the power of your will.
Okay. Well, I do excel in persuasion. 6. 10.
All right. If the smoke has a reaction, you are not able to perceive it since it has no facial expressions for you to read off. But it seems to continue its course of movement as far as you can tell.
No.
Willy, do you have something?
Oh, man. I do. I kind of feel bad about it. I shoot Hoop with an Eldritch Blast. Does above 20 hit?
You're specifically targeting Hoop?
Yes, there's a reason. It pulls him 10 feet closer.
All right. May I remind you that for the short period of time that you have now met this person, you have not gotten the indication that he is a very combat-savvy individual, let's say.
Well, one point of healing brings him back up to good, and we have 2 paladins with lay on hands pools, so even if his max HP... Oh no, max HP.
If you insta-kill this person, how much damage do you do with your Eldritch Blast?
8?
Oh no, you might insta-kill. Can you choose for it to be a non-lethal?
The DM would have to let me know. Can I...
I concur. That is possible. But there are the instant kill rules if he does his hit points maximum into the negative of his hit points. Luckily, he does not have 4 hit points. He has more.
Oh, thank goodness. So yeah, my, blood magic shoots from my hands, 2 grasping... I guess actually since I get 2, I'll throw the other one at the smoke itself. I only get a 9, probably a miss.
9 would miss, yeah.
But the blood wraps around him probably a little too tightly and then yanks him over to me.
All right. Since you and both the smoke are pulling, can you make me a Arcana check to see if your magical strength overcomes the strength of this smoke?
Okay, because I really want to do this, I will be channeling Wilhelm the Wizard to give me a bonus d6.
Oh no.
Okay, really needed that one. Ended up with a 17 Arcana.
Very nice.
So my hair straightens, my posture crooks, my fingers elongate like an old man's, and I go...
Oh, wow.
This poor man. Oh. All right. So the sequence of events that happens is as follows. Jade leaps forward and strikes the tendrils with a sword that says "Gonna blaze with magical holy fire."
Sure.
The blade is
holy.
I mean, making assumptions here, but yeah. The blade itself does not really seem to do anything to the tendrils at all, but the fire magic on it seems to transfer over to the tendrils indeed. And as you said, the smoke kind of catches, and a large part of the smoke kind of flash fires away, but it was wrapped around Hoop. So how much fire damage did he do to the tendril? I think it was 6 total. All right, Hoop also takes the fire damage as the flash fire covers him as well. But he's still okay. He's still fine, you know.
Oh, good.
And then he got hit for like what 8 force damage. This poor man.
Yeah, and I had my charisma to it. Like, so I mean, I already factored it in for the damage, but like I have an extra potent blast.
I think that ability gives you the option to add. I think it says you can add your charisma. So if you want, you don't have to.
Yeah, I have it as a shorter note, so I just have it as add. But if I can, then it would only be 4 damage.
Pretty sure it's a can.
Cool. Then I would try to do it as weak as possible.
All right. Then he is not unconscious. That's good.
I would just like to remind everybody that I have taken the spell Gentle Repose. Gentle Repose, if we do kill this person, we just, preserve the body and then take them to get revivified somewhere.
The fact that one of the fire beaver kittens has access to something that preserves dead bodies is kind of... Anyway.
Good thing this isn't documented.
For now. Anyway, with your 17 Arcana on your pool, you are able to overcome the power of these tendrils, and you rip Huub van Dijk out of the grasp of these smoke tendrils, who whip towards the door, open the door, and go through it. So apparently their intention was to drag him out of this room. But now he is on the floor, conscious, but slightly singed, and he's fine. He's got like 3 hit points. He's fine.
Almost lost you there, bud. We will be needing to confiscate that, though, and I take the creepy mummified hand.
It's for your own safety.
Yes, and not for my collection.
He does not appear to be in any state to argue with you. He's just kind of laying on the floor, regretting decisions. Just like... thank you for helping me. I think.
Do you know what that was?
Oh, yeah. That's been happening. I've tried to keep the fireplace from smoking too much. The curse seems to like doing things with smoke and books. Sometimes curtains, bookcases, walls, the doors, the rooms. You see him kind of like sink into himself a little bit. Dark expression on his face.
Willy will crouch down and pet his head. It's okay, bud. Just catch your breath.
Thank you, kind sir. Thank you. Sorry, I never even asked your names. How unpolite of me.
Oh well, I'm Balpetor.
I am Jade.
I am Willy. Willy is pondering the fact that they probably should have given fake names because they're posing to be Sunblades, but is like, it's already out. Okay. Yeah, right. I miss being telepathic.
I mean...
Okay, so Paladin's not gonna lie. Sorry. I can't lie. It's not in my oaths, but I'm not inclined to.
And I'm just naturally airheaded.
I just want to make sure we get paid. All right, so, do you mind pointing out either the first place that you've seen the curse manifest, or perhaps a particularly cursed room? Or, I'm just going to be honest, have you guys moved around any corpses when you were refurbishing this place? Because that's a real quick go-to.
It's mostly been me doing the work here. It's kind of on a small fund scale, so there's not many hired hands. That's why I have my handy magical friend that doesn't last very long. The only corpse or part of a corpse is you have it in your possession now. That's the mummified hand. I haven't seen any other corpses or parts of corpses. Thank God. But yeah, I can take you to the room where it all started. Yeah, all right.
But maybe you hang back and just give us some directions. I mean, or should we keep him near us?
Up to you guys.
I look at the paladins.
I don't mind the company.
All right, come along. We should probably keep an eye on you.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Before we transfer you to another room, I would like to, and then I pat them on the shoulder. I'm going to use my lay on hands ability. I do it one at a time until one doesn't work.
He was missing 9 hit points, so 9.
Oh, okay. All right, lay on hands. Used 9. Got it.
Yeah, he has 12 hit points, so he was pretty close to,
Oof.
Oh, yeah, we should probably heal him.
Done.
Yeah, he's up. He's good. He's like, oh, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad I asked for paladins, not barbarians or something. They probably don't know how to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This man does not have to have a clear indication of what kind of occupations among adventurers there are. He's just guessing.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just let him lead the way.
All right, good.
I would like to be within 5 feet of him.
Yeah.
I mean, you can stand next to him if you want. No problem.
Oh, actually, yeah, I would like to give this to you. I would like to cast a 2nd level abjuration spell called Warding Bond. If they're willing, would you like me to protect you?
Yes, very much.
Okay. I handed them now the book says a ring, a pair of platinum rings, and I'm a married lady, so if my spouse saw me giving someone else a platinum ring, I'd be in trouble. So instead I have as my materials components a pair of knuckles, because it does include at least 1 ring. And so I hand this person a pair of knuckles, and I cast this spell, which is 1 action, range touch, a willing creature I touch. The spell wards a willing creature I touch and creates a mystic connection between you and the target until the spell ends. While the target is within 60 feet of me, they get a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws. They have resistance to all damage, and each time they take damage, I take the same amount of damage.
Nice.
The spell ends if I drop to 0 hit points and the target becomes separated from me, blah, blah. I can also dismiss it as an action if I'm about to die.
All right.
And that'll last for up to 1 hour.
Oh, that's more than enough time.
For
right.
all of us to die.
All right. So I'm assuming Jade is standing next to Hugh. Where are the other two? You're just right behind him, take some distance. I mean, there's not that much space in this room, but, 20 feet.
I'll stand on the opposite side of Hoop.
All right.
And Willy will kind of be trailing behind, looking at everything, just sort of really focusing on, I guess, his passive perception or passive insight or whatever. And just looking for anything that's all right, there's got to be some bleeding walls or a ghost, face popping out of a painting, looking for that kind of stuff.
Oh, you know it. I got you. All right. So Hoop reaches for the door and he opens it, and you see the bottom of a spiraling staircase going up. And he goes sorry, one moment. Closes his door, opens the door. You now see a kitchen. It's okay, one more time. Sorry. Closes the door.
Before you open the door again, may I ask, you mentioned that you are restoring this building. Who was the previous owner of this building and who built it?
Well, I don't really know exactly who he was, but I think the person who lived there had some shady connections. I heard some things about some kind of mafia, like the Ravioli family or something. I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't really get told all the details. Just hey, go to this house, make sure it's ready for people to study in, and then they don't mention that there is a curse. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna assume they probably didn't know there was a curse on it, or else they would have sent someone more experienced.
Don Ravioli? No way. Can I make a history check? Because Willy lives with Tanager, and Tanager now is deeply embedded with the local mob. So
I will certainly grant you that. Go for it.
Okie dokie. I just really hope Don Ravioli's a person. That's going to be a 17 for history.
So you are pretty sure that he is talking about the Sefiosi crime family, but you have heard some rumors that that a couple of years back someone was impersonating the Don and called himself Don Ravioli, but you're not certain if he's around anymore.
I hope he comes up in a future episode.
You're welcome. So, well, he's ready to open the door again, unless you want him not to.
Can I ask him, how did he do that?
Yeah, that's not me. That's the house doing the thing. It's if you want to restore a house and get it into proper order, not being able to know which room you're gonna go into, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, I really hope that stops when the whole curse thing is gone. Yeah.
Can I ask him if I can try?
Oh, he is more than happy to let you take the lead.
Can I rapidly close and open the door, like 10 times?
Sure.
Okay, I do that
sure.
10 times.
So you see, once again, kitchen, servant quarters, kitchen, staircase, kitchen, spiraling staircase, master bedroom, library, servant's quarter, kitchen, spiraling staircase.
It seems to be random.
Yeah, the doors do that around here. It's kind of annoying.
But what if somebody's in the bathroom and someone else is trying to go to the kitchen?
Yeah, I've been meaning to go for like a couple of hours, but it never gives me a bathroom.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Poor thing. Willy goes through the door and goes like, Balpetor, keep opening and closing the door.
You
and
got
then
it.
every time it opens to his room, he does a different face. So he's like, scary monster face. Ooh, sad face. Like,
Balpetor's just cracking up.
So you're going through the door, you mean?
yeah, I'm going in the door to do a dumb joke. We'll see what happens.
All right. So which are you waiting to see a specific kind of room that that appears before you go in, or do you just go in the first time he opens the door?
I'm just going to go in the first time he opens the door.
Great. All right. Well. All right.
There's a very pointed
I mean. All right. So the door is opened. You step through it, and you appear to be in the master bedroom, and the door is closed behind you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Balpetor, you're opening the door, closing the door. There's a kitchen. There's a library. Kitchen, servant's quarter.
Willy.
It's been 10 times. It's been 20 times.
Willy.
A lot of doors being opened, but not a lot of master bedrooms being revealed.
Willy's just staring at the closed door, doing a funny face, just like, oh man, they're really taking a while here.
So what you're telling me is you're facing the door and not the rest of the room?
Correct.
Oh no.
All right, then.
Yeah, I guess at this point, after the 100th door opening, I turn to Hoop and I'm like, what happened to him? How do we go back?
I don't know how it works. I mean, I don't know. He's out of his depths, very far. So, Willy.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's up, dude?
Hey. So, can you make me a perception check real quick?
Oh, okay. I'm so good at those with my hair over my eyes. That's a rockin' 12.
All right. So you do not notice the crouching and sneaking bed linen that comes up behind you and wraps around you. Does a 17 hit your armor class?
Oh, yep. Just by one.
In that case, you are wrapped up in a piece of bed linen. Think of yourself mummy style. It keeps your comfort to about nose level, so you can still breathe a little bit. But you are grappled and restrained by it, and you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as it starts to squeeze.
I would ask for this bed linen to make a strength saving throw.
All right, then.
Though it's probably pretty strong, honestly.
Not really. It's linen, but it did roll an 18 on the dice, so that's an 18.
No. Yeah, it's totally fine. I can't do my ability.
How many times can you do that? That's pretty good.
Proficiency per day, so I only have one more after this.
Nice.
I still do. It takes half damage. Oh, great. So it takes 2 points of damage, but isn't blown back.
All right, so a small bubble of air forms. We're not going to say where inside the thing, but it stays around you.
Cool. And I guess the only thing of note is Willy does not need to breathe. So if it's going to try to, like, suffocate me, not an issue for me. The bludgeoning damage is troublesome, though.
It was definitely going to go for that, so that's actually helpful for you. All right.
Cool. Initiative or?
I think it's time for another initiative roll, indeed.
Oh, great. That's a 7.
All right. Everyone else can roll as well, because we're going to need to keep track of rounds to see if, Willy dies.
6.
Oh, man.
4.
Wow, Willy, looks like you are the fastest among your companions.
I'm still in shock.
All right. You are the fastest. I rolled a 1 for the initiative of the linen. So you go first.
Cool. So I'm going to summon my packed weapon, just like out of me, and then try to just cut my way out with it as it emerges from my chest. So can I just make an attack, like, from summoning it?
You can. You are restrained, so you will make it at disadvantage, but you can make an attack.
Cool. Below 10.
That will unfortunately not be good enough to cut the linen.
But I get 2 attacks because of my thing. So the second one would be above 20.
With disadvantage? Wow. All right,
Yep.
that definitely hit. Yeah.
Plus 7, 13, and 14 on the dice. So
Nice.
cool. That will be 6 points of damage.
All right. A fairly sized cut is made in the linen, but it's still wrapped tightly around you. All right. I think Jade was up next.
Okay, so hear me out. I think that
Yes.
this door is not going to take us to Willy.
I think you're right.
So, you must ask, what happens if we jump down the door? And I take my sword and I try to make a hole. I'm messing with the portal parameter settings because a wooden door was required to I'm going the hard way.
Yes.
They're taking out the material component.
Yeah. So I had pre-rolled some to hits. Do I need them against a door?
I will say no. The door isn't trying to dodge.
Okay. Then it's just the damage then. I guess I'll hit it for 8 first.
You can also attempt a strength check to just break down the door instantly if you want.
Ooh, all right. Pretty good at that. Can it be like in athletics?
Sure.
Okay. I rolled an 11 on the dice, and then I add 6 to it, 17.
All right. So as you prepare to strike at the door to try and break it apart, you hear Hugh behind you go, "Oh, no, wait, the doors are..." And then you strike it, and a force of magical energy reflects you back. Make me a strength saving throw.
13? That was pretty low on the dice.
That is actually not enough. That's a DC 15 for these doors. You are thrown back 10 feet and knocked prone, and you will take 7 points of force damage.
Yikes.
Make me a concentration check for your spell.
Oh, no. All right, I rolled a 12 on the dice. What do I add to that?
It's a con save.
Okay. It's 13 overall then.
Oh yeah, con save is just 10 and up, unless you take like more than 20 damage instantly.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. All right, so you're good. You still got your spell.
Yeah, but how much damage was it that I took again?
7.
All right, I'm down to 22 hit points.
Ah, you're fine. You're fine. You got lay on hands.
Sure.
So Hoop takes this time to go like, yeah, no, I tried to, because the doors kind of keep me in here. I tried to go outside. The doors kind of don't want to be, broken. Also, the windows, they can be broken, but then the glass kind of attacks you. So I also do not recommend that. Yeah, sorry, I might have mentioned that earlier, but there were things going on. Sorry.
Well, I really hope that wherever Willy is, he is okay and that he does not try this.
Just to be completely transparent to you, you are capable of breaking down the door. It's just a pretty high DC.
Okay. Like
And there's some kind of magical protection on it. So,
a strength athletics based DC?
yeah.
Okay.
So you can try.
I guess that ends my turn, and now Balpetor, you have that information that I was like,
Yeah.
I almost have it, and then I don't.
I saw it. Looks like you almost got it, though. Just a little more. It seems like this house is alive. I guess I could try tackling it again, or I could persuade it if I ask it nicely. But I don't know. Last time I asked, the shadow didn't work. So I think I'm just going to break right through the door, too. All right. So can I also make an athletics check? I rammed my shoulder right into the door. Oh, I also have a sword and shield. So actually I'm going to run first with my shield and just kind of run into the door head on.
All right. Make me an athletics check.
Okay, let's see. Oh, no. It's a 4.
You ram into the door.
So your strength is a +3 at this
no.
level, right?
Oh, no, it's a 0.
Oh, you only have a 10 strength?
Yeah, I'm a dexterity paladin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Got it.
He's fancy.
Yeah, so I just run real fast at the door, but I'm like a fly. I just kind of bounce off. Think.
Well, we'll see how hard you bounce off it. Can make me
Oh,
a
no.
strength saving throw.
Oh, no. Okay. 12.
That is not enough. You are pushed back by magical force, and you take 7 points of force damage as you are knocked
ouch.
10 feet away and prone.
Oh, my back.
Balpetor, I do not think we are going to do this, but you mentioned trying to talk it into opening?
Yeah, I was going to persuade it. It seems like this house is alive.
Maybe we can reason with it.
Okay, we'll try that.
We will find out next turn on Fire-Breathing Kittens. Going back down the list, we have Evil Bedlitten.
My nemesis.
Balpetor's nemesis, showering.
Oh,
Nemesis,
wow.
bed linen.
Ooh, Shade is being thrown around by Jade. Shade.
It's true.
My
Willy's
nemesis
never
is a door, so...
Willy's never slept before, so the idea of bed linen probably is very confusing to him.
Why do
You know when
people
you get
wrap
trapped-
themselves in these? My God.
Yeah, this seems terrible. Why do people talk about getting into beds? I'm glad I'm dead.
It feels so soft and painful at the same time.
Speaking
Feels
about
like
being dead,
Yeah, oh gosh.
Great.
since you are wrapped up in the bed linen, it hits you automatically, dealing you 7 points of bludgeoning damage and further engulfing you. It is now wrapped around your head as well. Fortunately, you cannot suffocate.
I gotta try to do it to him again.
It is your turn, so go for it.
No, my
The thing.
gift of the king.
All right.
King's Cry. That's a better name. I'll use my King's Cry.
So at this time, a slightly muffled scream, I guess.
Yeah. You make a DC,
All right.
and it has to be below 14. That's a rule. Don't look it up.
Oh, yeah, it's like an 8, so... Yeah.
What did it get?
It's an 8.
Oh, heck yeah, finally. Okay, so that will be pretty nice. 11 points of damage, so I've done a total of 19 to it, and it's blown away 10 feet.
All right. It's blown off you, and not only blown off you, it's blown to shreds. Linen
Yes,
rains down around you, covers you.
So, as it covers my mouth, I just reflexively scream, flex, and then blow it to shreds.
There's an animation moment where you see in a slow pan away from Willy as he flexes his muscles and a halo of linen is around his character.
Whoa, yeah.
Dude, I've been nailing it with the cinematics.
Do we happen to hear any of this by any chance?
Oh, Is this a magically enhanced
No,
loud
just like
shout?
natural hearing. Like, do we hear like thumping from the ceiling?
Oh no,
or
this a question for Willy.
It is technically, I think, just force damage, or it might be psychic damage, but either way, it would be me screaming as loud as I can. So like a normal, 18-year-old guy freaking out and screaming loud. So pretty loud.
I mean, we all know that can be pretty loud. So I will say you will definitely hear in the room you are in, you will hear a scream that reminds you of the scream Willy did earlier. So yeah, that's Willy screaming.
We heard him.
Like Balpetor was saying, is it coming from the ceiling?
Yeah, you are thinking it's coming from above you. It might even be straight above you. When in doubt, make your own doorways. Since there is no longer a immediate threat, I will say you're out of initiative order. You can take your actions however you want.
Okay.
I will try to cast the command spell to make the door open to Willy. So, if that's okay with Balpetor.
I agree.
Okay. All right, good. Excellent. So the spell is called Command. It's a first level spell, so I'm going to just mark off that I used it. There we go. I speak a one-word command to a creature. Wait.
I'll allow it. Go for it.
to a door I can see within range. So please make a wisdom saving throw, and if you fail, you must follow the command. I think the command is going to be... It's one word. Huh.
Maybe you could say bedroom.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that Willy's there.
Oh, you're right, huh? We don't. We could say Willy. Well, does the door know who Willy is?
Can I speak German briefly?
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. I wish I could. Open to Willy.
I will. This is how I usually use command as well. I will just say a single sentence and then highlight which word is the actual command to give context.
Ah, that's great. Okay, I will say...
That's smart.
Open to Willy, and then the open is the command.
All right.
But if I know there's some rules, Laura's gonna be real mad. So if it wants to disobey, it can. And then
Yeah, I'd like to see their rules law degrees.
okay. Oh, and if they're undead, it doesn't work on them. So you get a pass if you're undead. Also doesn't have to work. And if they don't speak common.
An undead door.
Well, you're in luck. It's not that kind of ghost, so it does work. And that's a 10. I think that's not enough.
That fails.
All right. The door swings open, and you see... Is Willy still ready to make weird faces at the door?
No, he's like full, like if he was a barbarian, he'd be in a rage right now. He is confused at the idea of sleep. Like, he doesn't have the sensation of being out of breath, but he doesn't like the fact his chest was being crushed. So he's just like sort of panting. I guess he is kind of doing an angry face.
I'm like, Willy, that's a funny face, but are you okay? I heard screaming.
I'm turning this into a cape. And he's collecting the little scraps of bed linens. I will wear the skins of my enemies.
We're paladins, don't worry.
It's like, Willy, it's just a bed sheet.
Why? Why do these exist? He Eldritch blasts the bed.
So, you don't notice this, but Hoop is standing behind Jade, scribbling down notes. So the expert says that the way to get rid of the curse is destroying all the bed linen. Very interesting, very interesting. I'm hoping this corroborates with some historical evidence I've seen before.
Yeah, so he will eventually calm down, especially after we're paladins, and he's like, oh, that's right, I have to pretend to be a sunblade. Alright, well, I'm going to inspect the bed for any signs of poltergeist activity. And just basically give the room a once-over, looking for things that are, like, stacked unnaturally, like, weird folded corners of the bed. Like, how is this ghost manifesting? Is it just in response to us, or is it also, like, walking around the house messing with things, like, out of boredom?
All right. I will give you that you can, if you like, want to investigate something as like an action, so quickly you can do like the bed. If you want to investigate the entire room, that's also possible, but that will take a amount of time that might or might not be significant. It's up to you.
I honestly, I would like to do both if the party's okay with it. I'll check the bed first intensely, and then just keep looking over the room. Because if it does the door thing to us again, like, you know, we're at least in this room. Let's see what how many clues we can find.
I'm assuming everyone entered the bedroom?
Yes.
Yes.
I also made sure that the hoop Van Dyke was not separated from me, like by the door aggressively closing to cut us off, because that would...
Oh.
Yeah, is there a chair in the room?
There is.
Willy, very, like, in a huff, picks up a chair and, like, jams, like, one of the legs on each side of the door, like, frame, so it can't, like, close without trying to smash the door. Or the chair.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. Alright, so we should at least have some time and be able to get back to our central hub room.
As you are placing the chair inside the door frame, you see the engravings and carvings on the door kind of shift to form a crude representation of a face that smiles at you. And seemingly out of nowhere, the chair falls apart, loses its structural integrity. But the door remains open.
Willy smiles right back at it and goes, "I got you now, expletive."
Wait, was it the door that had a face or the chair?
The door. Yeah.
Oh.
The door formed a face.
I motion over, go, guys, we have a face. We have a face.
I stand
Do
by.
you speak? Or do you
sound
only
okay.
strangle?
And of course, as soon as the other party members look at the door, it's a door. Where's the face? I don't know.
Willy, I don't see a face. Or is this a game?
No, this is... Well, actually, my dear friend Balpetor, I think this all indeed might be some terrible game. And I gently put my hand against the door where the face was.
As if a group of otherworldly elder beings is controlling our every action.
I'm just like in awe.
All right, the door seems to remain open, even if you don't, even if you no longer have a chair to put between it. So, for now, it seems to be open. If you want to investigate the bed, make me an investigation check, please.
That will be a whopping 13.
Very nice. You toss the bed, take apart the linen, under the cushions, up on top of the cushions, inside the cushions. Seems to be, as far as you know, since your knowledge of beds is probably limited, it seems to be a normal bed.
Is this like a master bedroom or just like a normal bedroom?
Oh no, this is the master bedroom. We got a king-size bed. There's a nice nightstand. There's a fireplace here as well. There's also some cabinets, probably filled with clothes or either more bed linen. Yeah.
Oh no. Is there a restroom?
You do see a small door besides the large door you entered through.
Danger bathroom. Oh, let's try to open 2 doors at once.
Ooh. Yeah, let's do that. I think I'll grab the door that Willy thought was a face, and then I'll notion Pim to go to the small door. I think I'll grab the doorknob of the door that Willy and I were at upon hearing your idea. And then I guess you can go to the small door if you want, or we can switch.
Yes, I will try to open the danger bathroom. And I wait for your signal, and I've got my hand on the handle. Are you
Okay.
bracing yourself against the bedroom door?
Yep.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. And then I try to open the small bathroom door.
And I open the big door, the bedroom door.
And as you open both doors at once, we are going to take a quick short break. Thank you for listening to this part Thank you for listening to part 1 of Fire Breathing Kittens. We were joined today by Jade,
Goodbye.
Willy,
Willy here, enemy of bed sheets, reminding all listeners out there that if you like what you're listening to, feel free to rate us on your favorite listening app, iTunes or whatever. We love hearing from you because it validates our existence, and we'll even read your reviews out loud.
And last but not least, Balpetor.
I open the door and I go, "Here's Balpetor."
And would you like to read the review?
Ah, yes. Alrighty, we have a review here by podcast listener CC. Okay, here it is. Great authentic D&D. Nothing too flashy, but good old-fashioned D&D played by normal people. Really does feel like players amongst friends. I love the guild idea. After half a dozen random episodes, I have a few favorite characters, like Mocha, Tanager, Meerkat, Dr. Crud III, Raincloud, Nuzgrax, and so many more. Not every session is played by the same people, so you get to see chemistry amongst various players. It's hilarious to see how certain personalities mix and can either make or break the party. The DM for The Tale of Three Tales is my favorite. I wish the podcast also presented the DMs. There are some funny scenarios and some cringy situations that kind of remind me of The Office sometimes amongst the characters when tough situations call for awkward solutions. Quality of the podcast gets much better during each session. Thank you, podcast listener CC.
All right, we'll see you for the next part. Bye.
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 We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Please leave us a review on iTunes.com. If you leave us a review, we'll read it on air. It's fun listening to the words of your review get read by the characters you know and love, so go to iTunes.com and leave us a review today. Can you think of someone who might enjoy this podcast? Please share it with them. Is their birthday coming up? A special anniversary? Would you like us to wish them a happy day on your behalf? You can arrange for us to read your shout-out on air at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com through our partnership with the website Buy Me a Coffee. Do you enjoy reading books? You can find paperbacks and ebooks based on our adventures on Amazon.com in the bookstore, Fire Breathing Kittens, that part's all one word, podcast. The authors do a great job of adapting the stories into fun novels. We also have official merchandise on redbubble.com. Imagine owning a notepad with the Fire Breathing Kitten logo on the front, or a t-shirt with one of your favorite characters. And lastly, I'd like to take a moment to sincerely thank all of you. We don't pay to advertise this show, so the only way we can grow is through the support of listeners like you. Thank you.
Welcome back to Fire Breathing Kittens. We are joined today again by Jade.
Hello.
Balpetor.
Here I am.
And Willy.
Hey.
All right, we have previously finished our first part of the episode. Does one of you want to do a recap of that? All right, I'm seeing a Balpetor pipe up. Please, Balpetor, tell us what happened.
Yes. Alrighty. So we were all just chilling at the social place, and all of a sudden this blue person comes to me, Balpetor, Jade, and Willy, and he hands us this magical scroll, and before we could ask any questions of this blue person, Willy touches him and he explodes, and we thought that he died.
But Willy can't die.
Oh no, the blue person. And so we read the scroll, and it actually transported us to this mysterious house, a very fancy one at that. And we were attacked by books. We met this nice man, this researcher and scholar named Hoop Van Dyke, who told us that this house is being haunted, or some evil fiend is placing curses on this house. So we are investigating where this source is at. We were attacked by smoke tentacles, by books, and we were playing with this door, and every time we opened the door, it would show the other side as a new room. And so So Willy decided to do a fun prank, and he stood inside a bedroom, what appeared to be a bedroom, to do a funny face. And then we actually lost Willy. So fortunately, Jade commanded the door to lead us back to Willy. And we found Willy, who was actually being attacked by a bedsheet. Fortunately, he overcame it. And we're now in the bedroom investigating where the source of evil can be coming from. So far, me and Jade are opening both the master and bedroom door and this mysterious small door in the bedroom at the same time. And we're about to find out what we see.
All right, thank you for that recap. Indeed, when we left, our party was about to open 2 doors at once, which may or may not be a terrible idea in this house. All right, so, I mean, technically one of the doors was already open, so I'm just assuming the main door was just kept open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, Balpetor, you opened the small door, hopefully to a lavatory, so our good friend Hoop can finally...
Oh, I think Jade opened the small door.
Oh, excuse me. Jade opens the small door, and she sees the following. She stares in the face of Balpetor.
Oh.
So for a split second, you think the rooms are connected. But then you notice that around Balpetor is the appearances of a lavatory. And he seems to smile weirdly at you. And then jumps at you. What would you like to do?
I mean, if ever a surprise round was earned, like, I think they could successfully leap onto me and attack me.
That's fair enough. This strange new Balpetor leaps at you, and he seems to pass right through you. Make a Constitution saving throw.
4.
Oh dear. Alright, you take 9 points of necrotic damage, and your maximum hit points are lowered by 9 as well, as some of your life force is extracted out of you into this now transparent grey-looking Balpetor figure that keeps on smiling weirdly. Strangely, he has the exact same smile as Willy, shark teeth and all. Huh.
What?
Roll me for initiative.
12.
9, and I don't like that this thing's stealing my look.
4.
Would you like to rage because he stole your look?
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to rage. I go into a warlock rage.
Sure, make me just a straight charisma roll.
Oh, okay, baby. All right, that is a 17.
You enter a charisma-based warlock rage. All physical damage you take is halved, and you add an extra 2 damage on all physical attacks.
Well, I'm mad. So this tracks because the king of all creation, to my knowledge, was an ancient warrior, probably some sort of barbarian. So, Willy's player might be rebuilding him because this is kind of fun. I might like raging. I know it's not effective, but...
So does this make you are more overtaken by the king of all creation than usually?
Yeah, but it is a partnership. It's like he's going to drive for a while.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Balpetor, what did you say your initiative was? I forgot to miss that.
4.
All right. All right. Jade, you are up first, and then Strange Balpetor, and then we have Willy, that might also be now the king of all creation, and then regular Balpetor.
I scream. I'm like, wah! First of surprise, and then like, ow! Of like pain. And then I have my sword already, so I use that sword. And I looked up what Divine Smite was. So I also Divine Smite. I expend a first level spell slot to Divine Smite.
All right.
Which is pretty cool. It gives you extra 2d8. So, okay, so that is a 12 to hit and a 17 to hit as I slash. I guess I'm going like left and right. And I'm trying to... it doesn't feel good to hit at you, Balpetor. I'll say that.
Thank you.
I mean, at this point, it's a rather uncouth-looking version of Balpetor, so it's probably fine.
Yeah. And so, does the 12 and the 17, do either of those hit?
The 12, both attacks pass through this thing, but the 12 does not find any purchase at all. The 17 does find some purchase, so that one hits.
Got you. You saved yourself from 10 damage by me missing that.
Also, for Divine Strike or Divine Smite, you can choose to expend it when you hit. So if you would have missed, then you don't have to expend it.
Right. So because I hit with the second one, that is 8 damage from the second hit, and then an extra 9 damage from the Divine Smite.
All right.
It's okay. It's not like the best thing ever. And that ends my turn.
All right. Also, I forgot this earlier, make me a Constitution saving throw for the concentration because you took 9 damage.
That's only a 6.
It's below a 10. Your spell sadly fades. But you do notice 2 things as you hit this apparition with your weapon. Slashing through it with your sword doesn't seem to do... It does something, not that much, but the radiant damage you're doing then, that does a lot. This apparition shrieks and seems to shimmer and almost phase out of existence, but then retains its form once again. That seems to have done a very hefty amount of damage to it.
I bet Balpetor noticed that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty visible. It did like the whole squeak. You know how ghostly things shriek in media. The apparition's turn is up, and he will once again target you, Jade, because you just, showed him that you can do the power of the sun itself, which he does not like. He will reach inside of you with his ghostly hands and try to extract more of your life energy. Make me a Constitution saving throw.
18?
That's good enough.
Oof.
He attempts to do this, but your Constitution and willpower reject his touch. He is not able to extract any life force out of you. You are not affected. All right. Then everybody can make me a charisma-based saving throw. If you want.
13?
8.
14.
All right. The only one affected is Jade, sadly. You are frightened of this creature, as its mere presence still instills you with fear and chills. All right. Next up is Willy.
All right. So, in a long-forgotten tongue, Willy reaches his hand out and as a bonus action will Hexblade Curse this specter.
Nice.
So I crit on a 19 or 20, do a little bonus damage. No crits, but an 18 and 19 to hit. As I'm just going to attack. My weapon is magical.
Both of those hit, and the magic weapon does help.
Okay. So that will be boop plus 8. Plus the bonus from my rage. So that'll be a total of 22 damage.
Wow.
Whew. So you're at like a plus 10 now to damage?
Yeah, because it's 3 from my proficiency, 4 from... Oh, so plus 9.
I mean, that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 22 magical slashing damage. Very good, very good. Yeah, you're already doing a hefty chunk of damage to this thing. It's already barely keeping its form together. So do you have anything else, Willy, or is that your turn?
No, that's my bonus. That's my other one. And I'm even out of my reaction, so... I'm done.
All right. Balpetor, you might be able to finish this thing off.
Yeah, thanks for weakening it. All right, here I go. I'm going to go ahead and do a double attack, or extra attack, my bad. Just like my bread and butter right now. I'm rolling. Oops, should have pre-rolled this. The first attack is at 5.
Yeah, that misses.
And then the second one is 19.
Wait,
19?
So how can you get a 5 because aren't you adding your...
Oh.
So, like, the things I add to my to hit is I add plus 6 at this level, 3 for my proficiency and 3 for my strength. So how did you get a 5 to hit?
Oh, I forgot to add the proficiency bonus. So, because I rolled a 3, so plus 2, plus 3, 5. Oh, so it should be an 8.
All right. That still misses, but yeah,
Right.
You can add your proficiency to attacks. Yeah.
Okay. And the second one I rolled a 17, and so that's 17, 18, 19, 22.
Oh, yeah, that definitely is.
Okay. Yes. And then I think just to be safe, I will do a Divine Smite.
Nice.
Okay, so then that one I roll... Oh, was I supposed to roll damage first?
You can roll the damage of the weapon and the damage of the Divine Smite individually, so you know which one is which.
Okay. Let me see what dices I need. Okay, 1d8. And then I think Divine Smite is also...
2d8s.
2d8s, yeah. 1, 2. Okay, so 1... Oh, and then plus 2.
Yeah, from your dex to the weapon damage.
Yeah, so 3 for weapon damage. And then I roll 2 5s, so that's 10 radiant damage, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And with that, especially the radiant damage, like the sword, that doesn't really do much. It's less effective. But the radiant damage is very effective against this thing. You fill it with radiant energy, and like the sun exploding inside of its chest, it bursts out in a burst of light. And like smoke scatters through the air and seems to dissipate.
We beat the evil me.
So as it dissipates, the king will take a deep inhale, and as per the terms of my curse, I get hit points back when the cursed target dies. So he's just going to inhale whatever's left of this ghost, and my wounds begin to heal. And then Willy will take back over the driver's seat.
Nice. If you want, Willy, you can also make me an Arcana check.
Ooh, I would love to do so. That is a 18.
All right. So you're snipping up most of this dust that goes around. You get a little bit of a cough, like, and some of it comes out of your nose, and you catch it in your hand, and you see a pile of glittering gray dust. And with your Arcana check, you know that this is a kind of magical component that you can add to spells to enhance them.
Awesome. I put it in a bag.
All right. If you do not use this adventure, I will tell you later in more detail what it is, and otherwise you can just try it out.
Cool.
All right. Well, you have found the lavatory. It was, in fact, behind the small door. Because it's the small door for... Yeah, you know how it is. Small.
Before any of us can react, the person who's been holding it in for 3 hours, Hoop Van Dyke, rushes past us. Just remind everyone, he's a man in his early 20s, an academic with, balding. He's starting to bald. So just picture him. Dash.
Oh.
Yeah, holding his trousers, like, oh, finally, a lavatory. Thank you, adventurers. Oh, you're already making it worth my while. And he takes a kind of a short rest inside the lavatory.
Oh no, we all turn around because the door can't close.
Someone cast darkness.
Deafness on my ears.
I mean, you notice that this is apparently where the lavatory is supposed to be, so you might be able to determine that even this cursed presence is not evil enough to transport the lavatory away. That would be a too low blow. He has some integrity. Come on. So he just closes the door with a small gap still open. So it's just
stick a little copper piece in the crack just to keep it open a little.
Exactly. All right, you had already previously investigated the bed. Is there anything else in this room that you would like to investigate, or do you just want to take the time to just throw everything upside down, search for whatever you can find?
So, I just said that there's a fireplace, right? And,
Indeed.
There were smoke monsters or whatever. So I would suggest checking the fireplace.
Go for it. You can make me an investigation check for that.
All right. I rolled a 13.
All right. Is that with all your bonuses added? If you're proficient with it, you can add your proficiency. All right. With a 13, you take some time to study the fireplace. There is currently not a large roaring fire. There are some smoldering embers and some remains of wood that are still giving off some heat. Feeling around, you can feel that some of the stones around the fireplace seem to be slightly misplaced if you compare them to the other stones, and one of them seems to be a bit loose.
I quickly grab it and I jiggle it around.
All right, you pull one stone loose from the fireplace, and you see that this stone has been hollowed out, and inside it you find a golden scarab beetle.
Whoa, guys, what's this? I show Jade and Willy the scarab beetle.
I also examine it. Should I do some kind of check to see if, like a history check, to see if my character would know anything about this?
You can make a history check to see if you know anything about any cultures or historical relevance. You can also make a arcana check. Your choice.
Let's look at my character sheet. Well, got a +0 to history and a +0 to arcana. So I'm going with a 19 on the dice in history.
Hey.
All right. You know that these kinds of scarab beetles can be used as a kind of a protective ward by some cultures, but they are also used by different cultures to create the inverse effect as a sort of perversion of this protective measure. And you get the feeling that it's the second one, because as you're looking at the scarab, it starts to twitch and then jumps out of the stone and tries to scuttle away on the ground.
I smash it.
All right. And make me a strength athletics check to smash it, which will not be very hard.
Oh, that's good, because I rolled a 5. That is a 9. No, wait. 5 + 6, 11.
That is enough. Do you just stomp on it or slash it with your sword? How do you want to do it?
The sword is an extension of my smite.
The sword is an extension of the law. All right, you smash the golden scarab to pieces, and as you do, you feel a small surge of energy coming out of it. You all feel this as it spreads around the room, and you seem to hear like a low, angry, growling voice coming from around you. Whatever this was, the thing that's in the house does not seem to like you smashing it.
Would you like to parley, my friend? Because we are willing to negotiate. Negotiate?
Make me a persuasion roll.
Oh, normally very good at that, but that is only a 14.
Oh man, that's... Does
Would
anybody
anyone
want to
like
help
to
her
help
with this?
me?
Yeah.
I will help. So, how do I help?
In character, you do something that would assist. And then I'll get to roll again and hopefully not get a 7.
I also stand by your side, and I look up at the house, and I too say the same thing. Parley, parley, we are here to help.
Roll again.
Persuasion?
Oh no, this is for Jade. You're giving her advantage, basically.
Okay.
23!
Whoa.
That's a lot better. All right.
Wow, that worked.
I mean, for some reason, it was very charismatic, so... All right. The low glowing embers in the fireplace seem to brighten in intensity, and smoke starts billowing out of it. The smoke starts to form a shape, a figure, but not very humanoid-like. It's more like... Well, have you ever seen a floating, like, cube? It's a floating cube with smoke tentacles coming out of it.
Ooh.
But it does, probably for your sake, create some kind of mockery of a face. There is a crudely drawn mouth and some eyes, so you can at least see some emotion or interpret it. You seem to have drawn this creature forth out of whatever place it was hiding in. And Willy, you immediately notice something. You have that mummified hand on you, do you not?
I do.
Ooh, it seems to heat up and start to glow as well, just as the embers of the fires are.
This is yours, I take it?
A angry growl is directed at you.
Well, clearly we have multiple things that you want. Do you speak or merely growl?
The mouth on the cube spreads in a wide grin that is eerily reminiscent of someone's very, very telling grin.
He looks familiar.
Is this a possession deal? Would that aid our negotiations? I've got plenty of people inside me already.
Are you offering him to possess you?
Temporarily, and we have 2 paladins here, so...
Who can smite you, and that's about it.
I'm not really a holy kind of paladin.
Well, you could potentially turn undead or something, and
No.
Oh, wait, Paladins can't do that?
No.
Oh, Willy's like, wait, you guys gonna do that? All right, taking that one back.
I can kill you and then gentle repose your body.
No, I already have a thing where I stabilize. I've already died once, didn't really take. How about this, bud? We give you the hand back, and then you can scrawl out creepy messages.
Are you offering him the hand?
That is our bargaining chip, Willy.
Well, no, our bargaining chip is we burn this place to the ground.
Oh,
Oh.
yes, we do still have a bargaining chip.
No, we just murder this ghost is our bargaining chip. And I, say that directed at the cube. I go, it's a kind gesture of us to allow it to speak in a meaningful way.
Balpetor, good cop, bad cop. Let's be the good cop.
Okay. I wasn't paying attention. What happened? I was just so amazed by his tentacles and its eye. Oh, it does have eyes?
Yes, you are quite the creation. I mean, I have never encountered a life form like you before. I am Jade.
Before we react to that, Balpetor, you are indeed quite obsessed with the tentacles and the nice eye that seems to be fixated on you. Can you make me a quick charisma saving throw, please?
Oh no. I'm mesmerized. Oh, a natural... Oh wait, I rolled a 1.
All right.
So then, do I add my bonuses?
Now, with the natural one, you're usually... That's fine. You don't have to do any calculus for that.
Okay.
This thing has amazing tentacles. They're like swirling in the wind. They're kind of mesmerizing. They kind of draw you in.
Staring.
You start to walk towards this thing, like impressed and amazed by it. Yeah. You two see Balpetor in a bit of a stupor approaching this thing. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's drooling, but he has a look of anticipation on his face. That's for sure.
Balpetor? Are you okay?
Hold on, just a minute. Give me 1 minute. I reach out my hand to kind of touch one of the tentacles.
I just slowly start putting my blade through the hand.
My hand?
Balpetor... No, its hand. As Balpetor gets closer to it.
I was going to say, ow.
Just kind of making eye contact, we're really doing this? We're doing it like this? And I do think they call good cop, bad cop in this world Warlock Paladin.
Probably yes. All right.
Before you get any closer, I would like to use command on the smoke creature and shout, "Stop!" like Balpetor inspired me to earlier, but with magical force behind it.
Give me some context around what you want him to stop.
Making my friend walk towards it.
All right.
Yeah, the mesmerization. Stop mesmerizing my friend.
All right. He has a good bonus, but he only gets a 13 total.
Whoa, good. Mine was 14. You fell.
Balpetor, you feel yourself being woken up from a stupor, and you are very close to this smoke thing now. And why are you so close to this smoke thing now?
Whoa. Can I smell it?
It smells like ashes.
Guys, it smells like ashes.
Use your divine sense.
Smells better than me. Divine sense, you said?
Yeah, use your divine sense.
All right. I'm going to use my final spell slot and use divine...
No, you don't...
Oh, it's not.
No spell slot.
Okay.
As an action.
Here it is.
You get it a number of times a day free.
Yep. I use one divine sense. Do I say it?
Yeah.
Okay, I sense the presence of strong evil registers in your senses like a nauseous odor, and powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type, celestial, fiend, or undead, of any being whose presence you sense, but not its identity, such as the vampire Count Strahd von Zarovich. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell. You can use this feature a number of times equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier, and you can get it back with a long rest.
All right. All right. Yeah, it do be smelling in here. That's for sure. You sense a very, very powerful noxious odor right in front of you in the form of this creature. You also, you can almost see like a tendril of a smoke and scent emanating from the mummified hand that Willy is holding that is reaching towards the smoke entity. And you also feel the fading remains of another source of the smell that's fading away. You can't really place it, but you can probably conclude that it was, the golden scarab thing. There does not appear to be any other noxious odors in this room. So whatever it was spread around before, it's pretty concentrated now inside this entity.
Guys, I was smelling this thing.
I'm going to say, before you continue with that, since apparently all of you were like, you weren't like, I'm going to move away, and nobody was like, I'm just going to really jump in front of it. It's going to do what it was wanting to do. Just gently, caress you with one of its beautiful flowing tentacles, which shoots inside your skin, making me a Constitution saving throw.
Ouch. I'm trying to be friendly here. Okay, I rolled a 15. And then my bonus is a +2, so 17.
All right, you managed to prevent this ash from going inside your arteries.
Ouch, bad.
You do take 14 points of necrotic damage, and your hit points maximum is reduced by that as well. But you managed to force it out of your body. Just so you know, this is not something you can easily do. But if you give it time to just wait around in front of it, okay. you can do it. Yeah. Willy, you had your sword up to it. Would this be something that triggered you doing swordy things?
Oh, yes. Could I just real quick make an Arcana check, just thinking about that dust, without, I don't want to pull it out and examine it. I just want to be what do I think that would be used for? We got ghosts, and I guess, could it be used? You said it was a spell bonus thing. Mm-hmm. I have this thing's hand, I have the spell cause fear, and I have this dust. Could I, worst case scenario, really, scare, this ghost into following our commands and, stop trying to mess with us? Best case scenario, straight up exorcism.
All right. So
Arcana check, is this dust, could it be used for something like that?
I was going to say, you already made a good Arcana check, but for the for what you're suggesting here, you think this is among the possibilities. To achieve this, you would use an Arcana check and some of your magic. So if you have spell slots for that, and you can do that, and you have to make an Arcana check to get it going. Because you have this hand, which is a very direct connection to this thing, I will let you do that with advantage. Look at him making a big glorious sip there.
Yeah. Players getting ready, man. I feel like Rocky.
All right, so you wanna combine the fear spell with trying to drive this thing out, enhanced by this dust and by the magical hand thingy, right?
Yeah, because I have a piece of it, so I'm I'm doing voodoo. I was raised by sea hags, so I'm thinking about all the curses my mother's taught me. If you have a piece of someone, you can control their soul. And I'm I got you now. You're all soul. So yeah, did you say I could do it at advantage?
You can make an Arcana check at advantage, indeed.
And I'm also, just because I really want to do it, going to once again channel Wilhelm the Wizard.
Oh yeah.
Be you're getting a workout today, man. I need your magical knowledge. Okay, pretty spice. So that's a 15 on the dice, +4, +2, 21.
All right. With your first thought, you said, scare him. Then you went to, exorcism is even better. You straight up scatter this thing to the corners of the room and make it dissipate into thin air as you strike it with fear, enhanced to the point that it starts to doubt and fear its own existence. The hand that you use for this starts to crumble into dust inside of your own hand. And, it mixes with the magical dust you picked up earlier to create this effect. And the creature seems to be gone. And for the paladins among us who are sniffing around, I'll say you can still detect this, Balpetor, because you just used your ability. You can sense that this room has been completely purged of all noxious odor. But you have a feeling that there's still a small trace somewhere beyond one of the walls of this house. But it's very, very far from the powerful odor it was before.
Guys, it's all clear.
Ah, good. I mean, we tried to talk to it. It tries to eat Balpetor. It like stuck its smoke tendril right into your chest.
Yeah, that kind of hurt.
My goodness. Here, let me help you. I would like to definitely use some non-combat healing. Ready, guys? Got some 10-minute heals for you. Your paladin friend would like to do... what is the name of the spell? Prayer of Healing. Okay, up to 6 creatures of my choice. This is a second level. Oh, there we go. Second level spell slot.
Before you want to expand it, I can give you a small little hint. Since you did such a powerful finger, you can consider this room pretty safe. Maybe not the rest of the house, but this room is pretty safe. So you could also do a short rest if you wanted.
Ah, okay. Well, if I heal you guys, then we're good, right? Or does anyone need a rest? Or I don't get anything back with a rest, really.
I don't think I get anything back on a short.
Oh.
You get your
I get 1 channel divinity per short or long rest.
There
Yeah, but
Yeah, me too.
I get my curse back, I guess.
Okay, all right. DM's telling us to short rest. Well, I'll say during 10 of those minutes of that hour, I'm gonna do this prayer of healing. Up to 6 creatures of my choice that I can see within range, each regain hit points equal to 2d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier. Unless you're undead. And then sorry. Willy.
I'm technically alive.
Okay, so you're not technically an undead?
No, I do not have the undead subtype. I just am dead.
Okay, cool. 2d8 is... Oh, that one was a 7, and that one was a 3. So 10 plus my what is it, my casting modifier? So that's 14. You get 14 hit points back.
Yay.
But your maximum might be reduced. So for example, 27 is pretty close to my maximum now.
Yes. The reduction in your hit point maximum does not seem to go away from a short rest, so that's going to need probably something else. For the warlocks among us, you also get your spell slots back on a short rest, so...
I thought so. I was going to ask about that. So, yeah, all I used was my fear, so I get that back. And then Willy's just going to finish the curse. Like, 4 winds take you, banished in death. Then I, like, blow little pieces, like, little puffs of the destroyed hand, like, into, like, the 4 cardinal directions. Like, really cursing this thing.
So, you know how Hoop was on the bathroom taking his short rest? So like 50 minutes into your rest, like he opens the bath door, like, that's great. And then she's like dust everywhere around the room, like, what happened here? I heard some noises, but I thought it was a good idea for me to just stay in the bathroom.
Oh yes, you did fine, especially since I'm sorry, but I'm no longer protecting you. Can I have those 50 gold points platinum knuckles back?
He kind of looks sheepishly down at them. He had put them on his fingers. He was like, "Ooh, I've seen these in some magical picture shows. I can." He wasn't gonna brawl anyone, so yeah, he will give them back to you.
Thanks. And that was second level, so I am officially completely out of second level spell slots. I have 1 first level spell slot left, guys. Let's go fight a big bad. That's an
You
evil
have
DM
one
chuck.
smite in you.
Oh no.
How dare you? I don't give away my secrets that easily.
I still got a trick up my sleeve, 1 singular trick up my sleeve.
If we're short resting, we can use our hit dice instead of my second level spell slot to recover. So let's do that instead, guys.
I was only missing 1 hit point.
Okay.
Like, so I'm cool with that.
Alright.
I think I was missing 20.
I mean, the smothering rock did you some bludgeoning damage like twice, so...
Yeah, but then I cursed the ghost and then ate it, and it gave me back 9. I got hit for 3 and 7, and then I healed 9, because it's my level plus my charisma mod.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, Willy is never going to go down.
Is he now?
Jade's going to die. Yeah, 2 of my hit dice just... You know how I was like, oh, I'll spend a 2nd level spell and it'll be so useful. 2 hit dice did the same thing. Why?
Yep.
Why?
So pro player tip. When you have the time, always take short rest instead of potions or a spell healing. If you can.
So we roll 1d10, right? And we add that to our health?
Yeah, and you can do that, like you can stop and then decide to roll again. You don't have to be like, I'm going to spend 4.
Okay.
Like you can choose each time to spend an additional dice.
Okay.
And you have up to the level that you are, which is 5.
Also, quick question. You said my HP was reduced from the tentacle? Or my max HP?
Indeed. Yes, your maximum was lowered by the amount of damage you took, which was 14.
Oh,
so,
okay.
That's not like a permanent thing, so just write it like in parentheses somewhere so you can remember it for this session.
Okay. Ooh. Can I share it? Or is that like a secret?
No, you can share it. Whatever you want.
I'm at 20 HP.
Oh, you're fine. So you can do that 2 more times to you, is what you're saying.
Oh, is my max not 20? Like it doesn't cap at 20?
No, what was your original max hit points?
Oh, 36?
All right, so you should be at, so your max should now be 22, and then whatever your current is determined how much you healed just in the short rest.
Oh, okay, so that's plus 7, so 29.
Yeah, but your cap is 22 now, because it was lowered.
Oh, okay, so it's 22.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely just keep rolling hit dice until you're at your current cap, because there's a good chance we're not going to do another short rest, let's be honest.
Well, I'm good now.
I don't think Jade would do in here, like, because the, explodey tentacle monster. But I guess if the DM says you're safe, you're safe. So.
Willy would be pretty confident that they were safe.
Okay, good.
I really banished the crud out of that thing. Trust me, it's not coming back in this room anytime soon.
And then I turn my head, I whip my head around to Hoop Van Dyke, and I say, "He is a curse expert. We keep him on staff because look how good he is at the banishment. Please don't unhire us."
Oh no, he's like excited. He's like, banishments involve a lot of dust. That's good to know. I mean, ancient civilizations really like dust. When they had their graves, like, I'm sorry, I'll talk about it later when we're not, dying inside a cursed house. Yeah.
Wilhelm the Wizard will be like, "Oh no, I have much to say on this topic," and we'll spend like the rest of the short rest just fully like giving a dissertation on curses, banishment, spirits, and ancient cultures.
All right, so just so you know what his thing is, he will add to that with his knowledge of how ancient cultures stored and used their grains, and he has also expanded into how people wrote and delivered messages in different cultures. That's those are his areas of expertise. Yeah.
So Wilhelm will just be like, yes, we kept the grain in a silo, but the might of the nations, the arcanic streams flowing through the... Yes, no, we wrote them on paper and used messengers.
I'm like hooked.
Yes, that letter is pronounced Ro. What else do you want? Gotcha.
Can I please go back to yelling about ghosts, sir?
Yes, you may.
But there we go. That's how I'll spend the rest of mine.
All right. You have successfully completed a short rest. All things that return on a short rest are returned to you. You have healed a little bit. You still, because of what you did and because of the effect you had going, you know that there is still something of a noxious odor inside the house somewhere. You do not know where, but it's not in this room. That's for sure.
I'm very wary of opening those doors again. Or are they already open?
Both are open at this point, yeah.
And where does the big door show us? Is it the laboratory or is it back to the hallway?
It was still connected to the study, yeah.
Oh, to study, okay. So that's kind of normal. Can we, I guess, peek in the laboratory?
Do you mean the lavatory? The toilet?
Yeah, the small door one.
Oh, yeah, that's the toilet.
Oh, that's the toilet. Oh,
yeah, the lavatory, the toilet. That's Sorry, maybe pronunciation maybe.
Interesting. Okay. Well, nothing's there, I guess.
It's pretty standard toilet. It's got a hole some papers. Yeah.
And we check the fireplace.
Willy, you are an expert on curses. Would you say that it is ethical to remove this curse from the house, or should we be trying to save it? I do not know. What do you think?
While my mothers would say that it is wholly unethical to remove a curse, I personally believe that curses are nasty, dirty magic. And if one is going to create a curse, well, they should be open up to having said curse be broken. So, while I don't believe that it is necessary, if it is this man's will to pay someone to have this curse removed, well, there's no wrong in doing a job. And the job should be done well.
Okay. Well then, I guess there is no saving a curse. We shall remove it. I'm cool with smiting things, yes.
Yes, I'm sensing a pattern here. The scarab, the mummified hand. I think we should keep an eye out from artifacts of desert cultures.
Excellent insight.
And especially, my dear Balpetor, you found that scarab in the inside of the fireplace, correct?
That's right.
So it might be hidden, one of these objects.
Yes, there was a foul odor coming from that fireplace. It is possible we may be able to detect the scarab in the rooms that we go to, destroy it, and with that, destroy the curse.
Tally-ho, my friends. I think there's little more to be found in this room. We might have to risk the portals again.
I am so traumatized.
I will help to defend you, and we will
Okay.
together defend this actually helpless person.
To be fair, he can do like 1 or 2 spells, so he's not completely. They're not combat spells, but he has magic.
Yeah, I got 2 slots. All right, we're going to the door again, right?
I did not mean you, Balpetor. I meant Oop.
Oh, whoops.
I love how we all came to the same conclusion there. Love it.
Balpetor,
My airheaded kicks in.
you are the most precious kitten.
Sorry.
That's a big compliment. There's a lot of pressure.
Totally in character, by the way.
And
Just
keep
kidding.
in mind, Willy is very, very tall, and I think by Balpetor's height, there's a full 2 feet between us.
I'm only 4'9", so yeah.
So is it like you standing next to him and just craning your head down towards so that you have a long, lanky person like looking straight down on you?
From the angle, I am not entirely unsure that Balpetor is not a halfling.
Like borderline.
But yeah, Willy will go through the portal, wait for everyone to come through, because even if this thing's shuffling, like, we're just going to have to reshuffle until we have a new room. So, like, let's kick it into gear, gents. And gentinas.
I think you guys is gender neutral.
All right. So did you say that you first wanted to go through the door back to the study and then close the door, or are just going to close it here inside the bedroom?
Oh, I guess we could just do that.
Oh, but if we check the study for scarabs, then might as well. I have more of these. This is out of character. I have 5 per day divine senses, and I think I used 1 so far, so I can use 4 more. So I'd like to check the study.
Sweet. All right.
Do it up. We'll set
Okay.
the hounds out.
Sniff, is there a scarab here?
So you do sense something of a noxious odor inside this room. You don't know exactly where it is though, but there is a whiff of something.
What?
Okay, well then it must not be the scarab because the divine sensibility would pinpoint it. So it must just be residue. Okay.
I mean, when you used it before in this room, you also sensed there was something here, but it was just like waving through it like a rolling wave. So, it might be something else as well.
Okay. All right.
And this is at the study, right?
This is in the study. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we are in a building, so it just might be a smell coming through the house.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do it in another room.
I mean, you're pretty sure it's not just like, smell of trash outside or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it says I would know the location if it was a celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of me that is not behind total cover. So it's either behind total cover and I can't detect it, or it is. So, we'll just try another room. Yeah.
Or magic is messing with your ability.
Also possible. Let's try another room. I don't want to. How much do you want to renovate this house? Should we take off all the wallpaper for you? And also the walls and also all of the studs?
I mean, if it's necessary to remove the curse, I mean, I'm not really familiar with the process, but if you say that it's necessary, then yeah, go ahead.
For your budget, for the renovation, do we have like $1 million, or like is this like a $1,000? Make it look pretty.
We have a very small fund. Yeah.
Okay, I will not destroy every brick in the fireplace to find the one brick that has the scarab. Okay.
All right. So, do you want to do an investigation check somewhere in this room?
Willy does. He got a 6.
All right. The most interesting things here are the fireplace, the bookshelves where the flying books previously were on, and the desk inside here. So, for which one was that, Willy?
It was bad, but Willy does have an idea because there was smoke and we found a scarab in the fireplace.
So we should check the fireplace.
We got attacked by books. Well, we got attacked by books, so I'm going to check the bookshelf.
Oh.
All right. Okay. All right. And you had a 6, you said?
Yeah, and I do a bad job at it.
Yeah, so I'm just messing. He's going like picks up a book. Nope.
It's all the
picks
hair.
Up a book. Nope. Throws it away.
I keep delicately. I keep reading the books. Like maybe it's on this page. Maybe it's on this page.
What languages do you speak?
Just, the totally normal ones. Common, primordial, and deep speech.
All right.
But I do have comprehend languages if I see something interesting.
I mean, all the books you're opening are in a language you do not understand. What you can interpret is, this appears to be some kind of variation on common, but it's written in such a way that you cannot decipher it.
Interesting. That's it for me this turn. I gotta percolate.
All right.
You said there's a fireplace in this study?
Indeed.
Okay, I guess I'll check all the rocks there too. Or the stones.
Just so you know, this fireplace, unlike the previous one, is like legit, like having a good fire going.
Oh.
Probably who kept it going for, warmth. But you can still check,
Okay,
Might
I'll
just be a
check.
bit
I'll kind of...
hot.
Would you like me to do that? I am a little more fire resistant.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, and my red skin doesn't. I don't. I'm resistant to fire damage, so I could probably poke around a little bit better than someone who would be easily burned. I don't know. Okay, can I mechanically benefit from that?
Oh, sure. I mean, it's fire. You're fire resistant.
Do we not want to just put out the fire?
Yeah, so the more I think about this, the more I'm like, why am I doing this?
Willy just looks over from the bookshelf like it's Jade's about to stick her arm in the fireplace. So I just kind of give up.
Yeah, it's not like fire immunity. I think I will investigate this desk.
Okay. Then I guess I'll continue the fireplace. I'll kind of poke it with my rapier.
All right. Both of you
Nothing
make
happens.
me.
I think I might take it out. Actually,
You might take out the rapier, or
take out the fire. If nothing happens when I poke
all right.
it. So.
Sure. Just make me an investigation check, both of you.
Oh yeah. Okay, so.
9.
All right.
Oh, a 1. Did I fall in the fire?
It should have been me after all.
I mean,
I tripped.
normally I wouldn't be like, nah, this is not a free stooge, but you spend so long thinking about how to resist the fire and stuff like that. Yeah, we're gonna do a little poking in the fire, just a little. Oh, you're bending over a little bit too far. Just gonna do a quick. You take a quick 4 points of fire damage.
It burns.
It was just 1d6. He's fine.
Willy turns and is just like, guys, what are we doing?
We don't know.
Every time. Oh, I love it.
This is my first time checking a cursed fireplace, so it's got me.
My God, Balpetor! I run across the room.
You know, failing forward though. You do notice that Balpetor. You notice that while you are, getting up close and personal with the fire, you do know that the fireplace is missing one brick.
Okay.
Just like the other fireplace was. Meanwhile, Jade, you were investigating the desk and you got a 9. All right. Man, these rolls, love it. You notice that there's a couple of drawers on this in this desk, and most of them are locked. One of them does open, and inside is just some ready utensils. And there's just a small scrap of paper with something written on it.
I can read. What does it say?
What languages do you speak?
Common, Undercommon, and Draconic.
Nice. It is written in Undercommon.
Oh, I learned this language because I had to interact for so many years with criminals.
It is indeed the language of scumbags and lowlifes everywhere. It's basically common in catchphrases and ways to interact without normal people being able to understand it. All right. So the note is apparently a part of a message that. Sorry.
And infernal, but don't tell anybody.
No. The red skin and horns don't mean anything. Nope. No. We don't judge.
It is a skin condition.
Yep. All right, what was I saying?
The scrap of paper. She can read it.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys. Huh. Anyway, all right. So, the scrap of paper seems to be a communication between whoever lived here previously and some kind of person that's called the Drop. And from your years of experience, you know that this is probably not referring to a person, but a drop site for possibly illicit goods. And it mentions a address on the outskirts of Nicomoy that I do not have specifically for you, but it's something that you can check out if you want. It has an address. I just don't have a street name in Nicomoy, because I don't know the street names in Nicomoy.
123 Butt Avenue.
Yeah, the secret is the streets are whatever you want them to be.
Yeah, fair enough. We're going for 123 Butt Avenue.
All right.
Named after Ulysses Budd, famous explorer.
Sure, Bud. All right.
Mm-hmm. It's only one. It's with a D. All right, so it appears to be part of a message about a drop off. Yeah, that's about what it is. Yeah, you don't find any strange, weird, ancient, mummified stuff. Yeah, seems to be a clean room. Yeah.
And I found a missing brick, right, from the fireplace while I was being consumed by the fire.
Mm-hmm. There is indeed a missing brick. Indeed.
I show both of my party members the note and I translate it for you guys. This drop, yeah, this is most likely not a person. This is a illicit good contact site.
And this fireplace is missing a brick.
Oh. Is it possible that someone destroyed it like we destroyed ours?
Oh, maybe.
I think this is a good point where Hoop chimes in. It's like, oh yeah, no, I found a loose brick. There was a mummified hand inside there.
Oh, thank you, Hoop. Thank you so much.
Hoop, what are we doing, man? Have you found any other weird bricks or objects to art around?
No, that was the one I found it kind of accidentally. Yeah, I was being chased by flying books, and then I kind of stumbled into the fireplace and got loose. So,
Hoop.
What is
again? I sit in libraries all day. I'm not. All right, I'm sorry.
Is someone greasing the fireplaces here? Why is everyone falling into the fireplace?
I was chased by homicidal books. I mean, it's like one of my worst nightmares. Come on.
Okay, so we have a plan, everybody. Let's go to our new room and let's beat up the fireplace and destroy one of the bricks.
Excellent plan. Real quick question. What is the address here, Hoop?
It's 16 Bud Avenue.
16?
Indeed.
And the other... Well, okay, I know I kind of said that wasn't a joke, but is the other address actually 123? Or is that one also 6? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same street.
Okay.
Okay, this is very important. Is it T as in trench coat or D as in dog?
It's D as in dog.
Okay. All right.
More like 420 Bud Avenue. What up?
I mean, maybe. You don't know. You don't know what's there.
I think I know what's at that drop site, homie.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, but that is something to note. Jade, real quick, I don't recognize this language. And I open one of the books and show her.
Yeah, it's uncommon.
Oh, I can tell you, this book is about...
You have found ledgers pertaining to illicit activities that were carried out from this mansion as a central site. You do notice that most of the dates on there are like 3 or 4 years old, so this is probably not very relative to, modern things, but, if there's an ongoing investigation to the person who lived here before, it might be evidence.
You know how we said that this house was most likely owned by Don Safiosi?
Yes.
Yes. So it would appear that they were keeping track of all of their illicit activities in a special code that I, as a retired guard of the city of Nikimoy, have learned have had to learn for my job. And in this code, see, yeah, this is and then I describe illicit activity. And this, this on this date was...
I don't think the book actually says illicit activity, but...
They made this many gold on this date. Oh, it's all very boring accountings. I could send them to jail. See, you can break the law, but you can't break the taxman.
Ooh, I think I'm out of flashbacks. Otherwise, I would summon corporate tax accountant Willy. But,
Elliot Ness. Williot? Willy? Williness.
Welliot Esquire.
Nice.
So, I am curious, though. Could we find the most recent book? See if it had any sort of, I'm just going to throw it out here, sarcophagus delivery? And maybe, that's why this place got abandoned, and there's a ghost because they brought in something they shouldn't have.
I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to say, and it is possible that we are simply fighting the unremoved security system of this very well protected property.
I like that too.
And I scroll for sarcophagi right at the end, of course.
All right. So, you do not find any mention of sarcophagi, human remains, or ancient artifacts. You do find, if you're thoroughly going through the books now, the most recent book you find, it's still 2 years old, but the last page is different than the others. It does not contain any lists of dates and numbers, stuff like that. It just has the words, "We will have our vengeance," written very messily on it.
And you can see when the low-life scrub criminal was captured and scribbled out their words, "We will have our vengeance," against the town guard, of course. We love to see this. It is it's so satisfying for us town guards. It's beautiful. I will frame this page.
Is it written in a different language, or is it also written in Undercommon?
This would be written in Common, yeah.
In regular Common?
Yeah, this is a for all to see kind of deal.
Okay, so we're not dealing with inner criminal things of one crime gang getting after another one, because they probably would have written it in Undercommon. So we have some sort of outsider group.
Gangs know Common.
Well, I don't know. I feel you would... I don't know. It's like writing a formal letter of "Dear Don Spaghetti, I'm going to murder you."
Yeah, that's very astute. I really like that deduction. It's probably written to us, the guards, although we could probably read both. But yeah, whoever captured or Whoever made this Safiosi outpost unusable, it's to them. Yeah. And that person probably speaks common for surezies. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty common.
Yeah.
Is Hoop standing next to us?
He's around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can we share all this with Hoop?
Yeah, he has.
See if he knows anything. Can we share with all this information that we found with Hoop? See if he knows anything.
It's up to you guys.
Yes, we share everything we have heard with Hoop and learned. Yeah.
Have you seen anyone lurking about, maybe? Or know of anything of the previous?
Well, as far as I know, this place has not been in use for a couple of years. So the price on it for the research association was really good.
Too good, Hoop. I hope you got a real bargain.
Oh,
Yeah, we did. You did. You know, it came recommended and all that. It was very nice.
it's like when you have a cheap meal, you're just making up the difference in Pepto-Bismol later.
It's like you're a first-time property buyer or something. When it's been on the market for too long, anticipate problems, shall we say?
Oh no, I don't do the purchases. I'm too low on the totem pole for that. I just,
Okay.
I will send you to drag some desks and chairs in, okay, and get some books in here. That's me.
You should not have waived inspections.
But this was money as well. All right, Hoop, we get it. But it is important to know that the dates line up. Whoever wanted their vengeance seems like that's roughly when this place went on the market. And you must be a tough cookie to scare off Don Safiosi.
Balpetor's just like lost. He's trying to listen as hard as he can.
Balpetor, are you ready for us to go into the final room? We will try to further undo the Safios' hold on this property by removing the last vestiges of their security system. You ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah! So we close the door to the study, and I open the door to something.
You open the door, indeed. You open the door to a room that you have not seen before when opening the door. It seems to be some kind of underground chamber. It does not give off a good vibe. We're talking chains on the wall. We're talking, a wooden table with, things to, strap someone down on. You can guess what kind of room this is. But also, in this room, you see a floating skull in the center of the room where a cloud of dust is beginning to form around.
Ooh.
Charge!
Yep.
All right. You want to
Willy
charge
was
it?
about to do a cool monologue, and then here's charge, and he's like, oop, and starts pulling his sword.
I mean, you can charge and talk at the same time,
Mr. Ghost, I presume. That was all I had planned.
Wait, does this one have tentacles too? Or ghost tentacles? Or
So far, it doesn't have much. It appears to just be a cloud of dust right now surrounding this skull.
It sounds like it's about to.
I wish I had detect evil. I don't know if it's evil. I don't know. Is a floating skull evil?
It's pretty. evil.
Balpetor.
Balpetor. What are we doing here?
You sound like Willy. Not every skull that floats is cool. Oh man, I love this.
You're rubbing off on me, I'm starting to understand a lot of
Looking
things
at
aren't
the
what
skull.
it seems.
It is a pretty cool looking skull, though. It is like gold engraving on it.
Oh.
I'm definitely gonna turn that into a scepter.
All right, let's go get you that scepter.
All right. Roll me an initiative roll, and you all get a 1d6 bonus to that, because this thing is not very much ready for a fight yet.
12 minus 1 is 11, plus 4 is 15.
Very nice.
That is a 14 for me.
And
Alright.
I rolled a 13 plus dexterity, so 15.
All right. That's all pretty good. Pretty good. We have Jade and Balpetor at the same time, so you can decide which one of you goes first.
-1 dexterity, that'll be Balpetor.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Balpetor goes first. and then it is the forming cloud thingy, and then we have our boy Willy. And, Huub is also here, but he's gonna opt to stay in the study room, and he's like, you guys got the underground chamber? I'll protect the study. Yeah. Team us.
We got this.
Do not fall into fire.
Stay away from the fireplace and get our payment ready. We'll deal with this quickly.
The floating skull is evil.
Yes.
Yes. The floating skull is evil.
Judge!
I'm glad we're all on the same page now. You caught up. Very well. All right, Balpetor, you are up first. What would you like to do?
Yeah, let's see. I gotta try out my new stuff.
Just to give you a quick further description of the room, it is about 50 feet long, 30 feet wide. You have entered on the wide side, so you have you're about 20 feet away from the skull. Yeah.
Okay. I sense this might be a boss fight, so I'm going to cast Compel Duel.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh, if I also cast Compelled Duel, does it just take yeah.
You stand on opposite sides, so then it's just like, I am...
Funny enough, when you try to affect a creature with the exact same effect as from the same class ability or the same spell, the higher or stronger level version of it takes effect if it does not make the save or anything. You are not exactly able to have the exact same effects on it from the exact same source.
Darn, so we can't smash it like a ping pong ball between our paddles and... okay, all right.
Rules, they're fun.
Okay.
We could play tennis with this flying skull. Okay.
You can still try that with your swords. Cool.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Do you want me to read the spell?
Just tell me what... sure. Okay, go read the spell.
Okay. It's a bonus action, and 30 feet... it's 30 feet within us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You attempt to compel a creature into a duel. One creature that you can see within range must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is drawn to you, compelled by your divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than you, and must make a wisdom saving throw each time it attempts to move to a space that is more than 30 feet away from you. If it succeeds on the saving throw, this spell doesn't restrict the target's movement for that turn. And it ends if we attack any other creature, or if you cast a spell that targets a hostile creature other than that target, if a creature friendly to you damages the target, or casts a harmful spell on it, or if you end your turn more than 30 feet away from it. Oh, so it's probably going to end once someone else hits it.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right. You attempt to compel this creature into a duel. Unfortunately, its mental fortitude is pretty good. It rolled an 18 on the dice.
Okay, and then...
So...
Oh, yeah, I don't think I...
Your spell save to see is probably around 13 or 14 right now.
Yeah, you're right. 14.
All right.
Darn.
You feel your spell not taking effect. You still have movement and your action left.
I'm just going to go ahead and... Am I right at it? Or am I at a distance?
You're 20 feet away at this point.
Okay, I'm just going to... I guess I'll just close in on it and attack it straight on.
All right.
My rapier.
Give me an attack roll. Or two, because you have two attacks.
Okay. There it is.
Oh, small clarification. Are you attempting to hit the skull or the smoke?
Oh.
Or just straight in the middle?
I think I'll just kind of stab straight in the middle through the smoke, aiming towards the skull.
All right.
And I rolled the first attack is a 6, so that probably misses.
Yep.
And the second one is 13.
Both attack misses.
It's the smoke.
Yeah, it's kind of wispy and hard to hit at this point. All right. I'm guessing that's your turn. That was movement, action, bonus action. All right. Jade, you are up.
Jade is 20 feet from the skull. She dashes forward. She can move 30 feet. So she's technically running forward, not dashing. But she runs forward, and she swings her sword. Does a 20 and does a 12 hit?
A 20 hits, the 12 does not. You're aiming specifically for the skull? Yeah, that hits. The 20, not the 12.
Good. Yeah. So because the 20 hit and dealt 10 damage, I expended Divine Smite. I have one spell slot left after this. And
nice.
I deal 10 additional damage because I think that this thing might not do so well with the divine damage.
Indeed, indeed. You see a bunch of the radiant energy flare up and the smoke kind of being pushed away from it. But then it reforms around the skull. Does that end your turn?
Well, so I really like the idea, but I think it's going to make the save. So I'm not going to try to play ping pong with Balpetor, but I love that we're on the same party, and I can't wait to fight more than one enemy with you. But because, as you've noticed, attacks on the enemy by another party member undo this thing, so we're going to have to fight a party of multiple enemies for us to play ping pong with them. So I don't do it. I end my turn, but I'm excited.
All right, then.
Balpetor didn't quite understand, but he was like, okay.
If I compel duel this thing and another party member hits it, it'll undo my compelled duel, so it's best for multiple enemies.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 1v1 spell. All right, then it's the turn for the apparition. It forms in a more solid state around the skull. The skull seems to be filled with the smoke, which kind of comes out of its eyes. The skull takes on a bit of a humanoid face, and it seems to be strangely replicating facial features from all three of you. And there's even a little bit of Hoop in there, because, he's present.
Oh, quite a handsome face.
You see Willy's uncanny grin. You see Balpetor's friendly eyes. And you see Jade's... What kind of... probably the horns, that's for sure. And Hoop's hair. He's also here.
Hoop has beautiful hair.
He chose to get the receding hairline. All right.
But the hair he does have, it's like Hulk Hogan. It's just the thin doll hair.
All right. So he is flanked on both sides by two paladins who are capable of doing radiant damage. He does not like that. He expends a bit of energy, creating a force around itself. Please make a strength saving throw, both of you.
15.
19.
Nice. All right. You both make it. You take 4 points of force damage each, but are not pushed away. He does not appreciate that, but he will still try to use his movement to get through the door towards the study area. You may both make an attack of opportunity if you want.
I do want.
Me too.
22 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits.
Attack opportunity, I rolled 2 dice, right?
Just a single attack.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
1d8. 8.
Roll to hit first.
Oh, 2 hits? Oh, okay. 1, 2.
Just one hit, but you have to roll to hit first. Okay. I thought you said rolling 1d8, so...
Oh, sorry. Okay, so first roll I got 15.
15 hits.
Okay. And then I do a second roll, attack roll. Oh, okay, just one. Okay. And then I do the damage. Oops, that's a d10.
Yeah, so it's, for me with a sword, it's a d8, and then my strength modifier, so that is 2 plus 3 is 5 damage from my opportunity attack.
All right.
Okay, I got 1, and plus 2 is 3.
All right.
For my dexterity.
You both hit the skull, but your attacks seem to do not as much of an impact on its surface. Small scratches, but not that much. All right, the skull flies through the door into the study area, and with another... Oh yeah, he has more than 20... He has 20 feet of movement for that, come on. And with his bonus action, he will compel the house to close the door. The door is closed to this chamber. And there was no... Another fun fact, there wasn't really not much light in this room. The light came from the study area, so you're enclosed in a darkened, underground, possibly torture chamber.
Willy's sword is moonlit, so it gives off an eerie, sort of pale moonlight glow, providing bright light in 15 feet. Oh, what?
You haven't been yet, so I'm assuming you are still in the study because you have not charged at the thing yet.
Oh, dang it. All right.
That's okay. I can see very well. I do not know if you'll notice, but if you've ever seen an horror movie and they have white parts in their eyeballs completely covered by black, that is what my eyeballs look like. So I look like I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I can see very well in this darkness with my dark vision. I don't know why I said that in character.
All I'm seeing is a good mom and a good wife. Nothing more.
A good guard. Good guard.
I mean, retired, so, does that still count?
Yeah.
Just total erasure of the elderly.
I mean, she has hobbies. It's fine. Anyway. Willy, it is your turn. You are now face to face with this skull, and the door has been closed behind you.
Between you and your radiant damage dealing friends.
Yeah, it's like he ran away from the radiant damage. Very weird. Huh. Strange that it happens.
Well, I don't know about radiant. Okay, so I didn't expect this. I guess instead of Elder, I'm gonna wallop him. I don't care. So swords out. Bonus action. I curse it and go. Let's see who. Wait, that's not what Willy sounds like. Let's see whose magic's stronger.
Oh.
And I curse this curse, which causes my first attack to crit, and my second one is a 18.
Both attacks hit, and the first one is a crit. So
that is a total. So 14 plus the 5. Probably could have added these up. Was that 29 points of damage?
Wow.
And that is magical, correct?
Correct.
All right. That's a lot of damage. All right. You create a large gash across the front of the skull, seeming to kind of crack it inwards. It kind of reforms itself back a little bit, but there is still the visible mark upon it. And it does not seem to be happy with that. All right. Was that your turn?
That is.
All right. I'm going to say Joop has an initiative of 1. He wasn't really going to do anything until he was stuck in a room with the skull thingy. He is going to panic and hide behind the desk, trying to flip it over so he has more cover. But he's, he doesn't go to the gym a lot. Let's be honest here. So he just pulls it a bit at the desk and then just sits behind it. As much cover as he can. Again, if you have questions about Grain, he's your guy. Anyway, back to the top of the round, we have Balpetor.
All right. Last time, I tackled the door and that didn't work. So maybe I should persuade it.
One question. Do you have dark vision?
Yes, I'm a half-elf. Dark vision. Yeah.
Sweet. Everybody's dark vision. All right.
I don't know. Situation might be different this time. I got a 50-50. Okay, I think I am just going to tackle it again. Because the first time I was kind of weak. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, with my shield again, I'm going to bash right through the door. Can I use my, whatchamacallit?
You can make an athletics check to try to break down the door. Yes, indeed.
Athletics check. All right, I'm going to roll. Coming in hot. Oh, 11 plus 2. 13.
Oh. You slam against the door. But fortunately, the magic is somewhat weakened. You are no longer being forced back by magical energy, but the door is still being forced by it.
I loosened it.
You are the most adorable kitten. Okay, I am gonna try to. If Balpetor loosened it, I'll try to continue there.
Oh, can I also do one more thing? Can I shout?
You have a bonus action remaining.
Can I shout? Like, just, we're okay. We're going to open the door. Hang in there.
It's cool. I'm walloping this thing.
Really, you do hear the sound. You do not hear the sound coming from behind the door. It's coming from somewhere below you.
What?
Oh, what? Oh, Nani?
Omae wa mo shindayo.
Willy loves anime.
We all do.
Anime is canon in Fire Breathing Kittens. All right, so Jade, you were going to do a thing.
I saw my friend trying to accomplish a goal, and I'm gonna help. I also run at that door. What is that? A strength check?
Oh, make me an athletics check.
Athletics check. Finally. 18 on the dice. Plus 6 athletics is 24.
Nice. There we go. I mean, it's definitely it was definitely loosened. You can feel it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course. You smash through this door, opening it up, revealing a spiral staircase leading up.
More exercise.
Charge!
You still have some movement left. You can start up the stairs.
I do.
All right. Is that your turn?
Yes.
All right, great. Then it's Ghosty McGhostface again. All right. Well, Willy, since you're all about curses, he curses you.
Ha! I've been cursed since birth.
Are we going to have an edge off over here?
Yeah. I'm the cutest edgelord in the guild.
The smoke around him piles down, forming a large cape of smoke, and a crown of thorny black tendrils appears upon the skull. He speaks to you in a gravelly voice. I am the Craven One. You know not of pain. And he plays a similar curse as your Hexblade curse on you as well. He is going to try and attack you with 2 dark rays out of his eyes. A 16 and a 14. Do those hit?
I forget. Do we go tie goes to the defender or meet it to beat it?
Meet it to beat
My
it.
AC is 16, so 1 hit.
All right. You take 10 points of necrotic damage from this. And instead of sucking out your life force, he infects it. You are poisoned.
Oh.
Ha! I think I have resistance to that.
Ooh.
So, it just says resist poison, but this is the condition. So, I don't have anything about the condition. Well, would it get advantage or cause disadvantage at all? Or
For this effect, there is no save. So normally it might give you advantage on the roll against poison, but there is no roll involved because it's tied to an attack roll. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm afflicted. But the damage was necrotic, you said?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
Are you resistant to necrotic as well?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't think so. No. He's not that undead. Just a little.
I'm not that kind of undead. Well, Mr. Not That Kind of Undead, you are up.
All right. Well, since we're having an edgelord off, would like to hex this ghost, which is a bonus action.
Double curses. Oh, my lord.
It has disadvantage on, let's just say, wisdom checks. And I don't see that it requires me to do anything.
Nope, it's an automatic. It automatically works. You just get more damage.
Cool. So I curse it and say, I'm... no, I don't. I'm going to edgelord out. So I put my head down, raise it back up slowly. My hair comes up, my smoking pits of eyes. The smoke billows down, swirling around my weapon like grave dust. And I attack. Does a 17 hit?
A 17 does hit.
So that's 2 hits. I have to roll this extra d6. So that's an extra 4. 16 plus 14, 30. 34 damage.
Damn. Yeah, because you're adding +3 and +1d6 to each attack.
Yep.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And my weapon's a d10. I got a 10, a 6, plus 14, plus an extra 4. All
right. You have brought him low enough for him to trigger his second phase. What? We're doing it.
His final form.
Nani?
His weird smoke form extends further, assuming a shape that is very familiar to you, Willy, as you look at a slightly more gray, slightly more pale version of yourself, but with a long flowing cape and a crown of thorns on his head.
This is a good look for me. I'm going to steal it.
Not if I steal your look first.
Oh, it's on. It's on.
Edge off. I love edge off. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, all right. Oh, I made one mistake. I should have let you roll with disadvantage because you were poisoned. But we will do that next turn.
Ooh,
my bad. That's
okay.
fine. Alrighty. So, Willy's been... Hoop is going to spend his action dodging. That's for sure. We are back to the 2 paladins on the staircase.
Alrighty.
Run.
Actually, hold on. I think I have an option I want to try. So I don't know how far I am from the battle. So I want to try to use my, what is it called? Divine, what's the thing that the paladins have? Channeling?
Channel Divinity?
Oh yeah, Channel Divinity. And one of my Channel Divinity thing is, for the Oath of Glory, is Peerless Athlete. And so I think I'm going to use it. And as a bonus action, you can use your Channel Divinity to augment your athleticism. For the next 10 minutes, you have advantage on strength and dexterity checks. You can carry, push, drag, and lift twice as much weight as normal. And the distance of your long and high jumps increase by 10 feet. Oh, it doesn't increase my running or my movement?
I'll give you something extra.
Can I just jump up the stairs? How?
Sure.
How tall it is?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's a spiral staircase, but I will say that the extra jumping, seriously, I will say normally the spiral staircase would be like half movement because you have to go up. For you, it's normal movement, so you can get further.
Okay, so I'm going to bust out some Paladin parkour, jump up the staircase, and what do I see? Do I make it at the top?
All right, with your enhanced movement, you are able to get to a strange-looking like sliding door at the top of the stairs. You still have enough. I mean, you only use your bonus action. You can use your action to try and open this. It's like one of those that you have to slide from the bottom up to the top.
Yeah, I open it like real fast.
All right. With your enhanced athleticism, well, you have advantage on things. Make me a strength athletics roll, which you have advantage on because of your enhanced athleticism.
Okay. Okay, so I flex my knee strong muscles. 12.
All right, that's good enough. Stand her up. All right, you open the sliding door, and one area beneath one of the a wall beneath one of the bookshelves slides upwards, and you are confronted with Willy, more edgy Willy, but then normal Willy getting even more edgy, and then there's more edginess over there. Which one is the real Willy? They're both so edgy. And I guess in that ends your turn.
I'm odd.
Jade, if you want to also get to the top of the staircase, because it's for you more difficult terrain, you have to use your action to dash, but then you will get to the same spot as Balpetor.
I use my action to dash, and then I arrive at the place that Balpetor got to first and open the door to. Wow, you're all so impressive, Balpetor, and I give you a high five, because I assume that's a free action. Paladin high five!
Yes. They are always free actions to high five. Do you want to do something with your bonus action?
No.
All right. Ooh, then the skull. Well, no longer skull.
Yes, because the skull's about to attack my friend. Champion challenge. As a bonus action, I issue a challenge that compels other creatures to do battle with me. Each creature of my choice, that's skull, that I can see within 30 feet of me, because Balpetor opened the door, must make a wisdom saving throw.
Which it has disadvantage on.
Ooh.
Actually, Hex works on skill checks, not saving throws.
Oh, dang. Right.
Yeah.
Darn.
But which Willy are you targeting? There's two of them now.
Oh.
Willy! I shout. Which one turns?
We're gonna do the thing. Yeah. I mean, my Willy's gonna turn. Is regular Willy gonna turn and acknowledge the shout? Come on, the Spider-Man meme. Come on, you wanna.
Oh yeah, I'll Spider-Man meme it. I was trying to get clever, but it's too funny. Huh?
Do they really look identical except one is wearing a more fashionable cloak?
Yep.
Okay, well then both of them.
Nice.
Each creature of your choice that I can see within 30 feet of me must make.
Love it. A wisdom saving throw, you said?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, I fail so hard.
Oh no.
That is a 16 total.
Okay, so only the bad guy passed. Great. On a failed save, a creature can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from you, and this effect ends if I'm incapacitated or die, or if you're brought by someone else to 30 feet away from me. Come here, so I can protect you better. Aggressive mothering.
Aggressive mothering. Oh no.
This is a rug of smothering.
All right. This is probably going to be his final move. So he's going to pull out the big guns. From the Willy that is covered in a nice cloak and there's a crown of thorns on his head, a shockwave of smoke spreads out, fills the room, now also the opened doorway to the staircase. Each one of you may make a constitution saving throw, and also Hube. Poor Hube, he's going to suck so bad at this. Yeah, he does.
Oh no.
Natural 1.
Dirty 20.
A 5.
Oh! Oh, gosh. Whoo!
To be continued.
All right. Everyone who failed takes 15 points of necrotic damage. Everyone who passed takes 7 points of necrotic damage. Hube is down. He does not have 15 hit points.
Ouch.
Willy, my man. Show us what you got.
Unfortunately, I have no flashy tricks. But, wait, yes I do. I have smites. Okay.
Let me remind you that you can't move more than 30 feet away from me. Keep going.
It did not move.
Nope.
So I can still hit him with the melee. I'm going to do a Wrathful Smite on him. I missed with one, hit with the other. What's the damage on Branding Smite? Do you remember off the top of your head?
2d6.
Cool. Boop, boop. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Oh, wait, is this the level 2 smite or is it the level 1? Searing Smite is 1d6, Branding Smite is 2d6, yeah.
Yeah, so even with
and
one
he can
attack...
no longer become invisible.
Yeah, take that. Total of 28 points of damage. Some necrotic, some fire, some magic sword. So Willy is just flashing flame and vigor as he's ripping through this skull.
I like how we brought you. It's more like you brought us.
Yeah.
Inspired by his Paladin allies and their glorious smiting attacks, you also, embrace your inner Paladin for a nice smite. But then, of course, you do it in like the Willy way, because now there's smoke and fire and necrotic stuff going in there. So, how do you want to do this?
Willy, gets, here's the call from Jade, feels the duel go, and, as we both turn, I catch him just a little bit quicker, turn, and behead the false Willy.
Wow.
Nice. And with fire and smoke, his corpse is torn asunder and only the gold-engraved skull remains. The smoke dissipates and the effect of the curse seems to have been lifted, as you feel the air around you becoming just slightly lighter and easier to breathe. Does anyone have some healing for Hub? He's dying.
I have a lay of hands.
Just because I want you to have this, I will say that the crown of thorns and the cape that was made of smoke remain.
Cool. So I lift the skull with the crown on it off the ground, take the crown off of its head, put it on mine, just throw it up casually, catch it in my backpack, and then throw the cape over my shoulders.
You got so much swag from this session. So much swag.
Hail to the king, baby.
Oh, love it. All right, so back to the dying person in the room. Yes?
Yeah. I rub my hands together. I put my hands on I go clear. Bzz.
Yeah, he's fine. He's only unconscious. You're not instantly dead. He's fine.
And then I bring him back to life.
Nice.
Do I have to roll?
Nope, that just works. He is
okay.
a willing target, for sure. He wants to live. It's like, he comes awake with a shout, I don't want to die! Oh, thank God I was willing to live. Oh, thank you, mister. I kind of forgot your name,
Balpetor.
but... oh, yes, Balpetor of the Sunblades, yes. Oh, thank God. I'll be sure to write a favorable review of the Sunblades. Oh, they are a good guild. Oh, they helped me immensely today. Oh. All right, to quickly narrate the ending of this. Huub van Dijk is very happy that you helped lift the curse of this house. He is now able to start renovating it, which basically comes down to get all the possibly connected to illegal activities objects out of the house and getting some, new books, some desks, some chairs, which are all pretty low grade and low quality. Think like, kindergarten school wooden chairs and stuff. They are a very small, underfunded brand, but they are very passionate about history and about grain, so they make do. The reward he had for you is a bag that he found in the house somewhere, which contains uncut gems that might be connected to, criminal activity as well. This might have been something left behind by the previous owner. He mentioned this as well. He's like, yeah, I found these, and I'm pretty sure they are illegal. I would have given them to the guards, but I mean, you're adventurous. You take illegal money, right?
I'm pretty oblivious, so I thought I heard he said legal, so I take it. Oh, legal, perfect, legal goods.
Before Jade can say something, Willy quickly fishes out his portion of gems from the bag and puts them in his pocket.
Jade was a town guard, and I don't know if you know how they got paid, but he's not from the town guard.
So,
well, beautiful. We're good.
Would the retired town guard like to refuse the possibly stolen gems?
I would like to remind everybody of my oaths, the things that I swear to.
Oh, please do.
The tenets of the crown are law. The law is paramount. It is the mortar that holds the stones of civilization together, and it must be respected. Loyalty. I'm loyal to my guild. Of not going to name it in front of Huub. Courage and responsibility. So, yeah, the things that town guards do, we do.
Aww. Okay.
Are you gonna tell?
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll just say this out loud. Cops take bribes.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
That was
she's
the
definitely
gist.
like, it doesn't say anywhere I can't take bribes,
Oh.
so as long as I do those other things, I'm good.
Yeah.
That took a complete 180 on me. I was like, oh, okay, she's gonna make him give it to the guards. Like, okay, no, cops take bribes.
Yeah. That's how the law gets enforced.
Isn't bribes technically against the law anyway?
Can I also ask for one more request for Huub?
Yes.
Since one of my tenets of, as the Oath of Glory, one of my tenets is to be known by glorious deeds, not words. Oh, I was just hoping to be known by somehow. So like basically a name engraving on the house or something. This house was purged with the help of Balpetor, Jade, and Willy.
He will definitely be commissioning a plaque. It will probably be made in wood and not like, fancy stuff because no money. But he will definitely put up a plaque. This research center was purged and helped make safe by Willy, Jade, and Balpetor of the Sunblades.
Yeah.
It's going to be ultimately more embarrassing for them when they find out, and then they have crappy exorcists going out on missions. So, like, I'm fine with going by the Sunblades, because it's like, oh, yeah, go ahead. Eventually, they're going to have to come to us for a job.
I mean, crappy exorcist, you did good. You exorcised the house.
Oh, well, we did, but we don't know the quality of their exorcists.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
like, when
fair
someone's
enough,
like, hey, I heard you did a good job at the house. Whatever. This is all big picture.
Yeah, it's fine. So the gemstones are worth 250 gold for each of you. So you can write that down. And I think that's where we're gonna end off today. Thank you everybody for joining us today at Fire Breathing Kittens. We were joined today by Willy,
Once again, hail to the king.
Balpetor,
Wow, that was my first adventure. That was pretty fun.
and Jade.
I am glad for these uncut gems. I had been worried that if the Sunblades had gotten our payment, that for us this would have been on the house.
If you like this adventure and want something in about a similar style, there are some adventures available from Crosshead Studios that you can find on DriveThruRPG or Roll20. You can also find Crosshead Studios on Patreon. We would really like if you had a look at them or leave a review or anything like that. All right. See you all next time on Fire Breathing Kittens.
Bye.
Farewell.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. This is Jade Miller, and I invite you to join me on my podcast, Think About It with Jade Miller. You can find me on all of your favorite podcast platforms. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, Think About It with Jade Miller. For more information about me and my podcast, just go to www.jadenmiller.com. We talk about cultural events, current topics, and entertainment, so much more. So I look forward to you all joining me, Think About It with Jaden Miller.
Hey, what's up? This is your man, Cody. I'm the host of CVMK. It is what it is. Podcast. Look, connect with me. It's the best podcast out there. If you want to cover anything from faith to entertainment to sports, any all of the above, we're coming for that number one spot. Joe Rogan, we're coming for you. This is the best podcast, but we keep it light. We keep entertainment. And it's to inspire and to lift you up. But look, not only that, we got the signature supplement line at cvmkglobal.store. But look, connect me on YouTube at CV_K. Hit me up on IG at CVMK33 and the business page at CVMK_global, where everything is going down. Best podcast on the planet.
Hey.
Just 2 seconds. Pay attention.
So we all like hip hop, right?
Yeah. And we mess with anime, right?
Course.
Then check out the Shonen Tapes.
The Shonen Tapes is a podcast that talk anime every Tuesday and hip hop every Thursday. So you can listen to both or whichever one you like better.
Google us. Shonen Tapes.
Sounds exactly how it's spelled. See you there. Good night.